scores for you. In Boise, Idaho, Georgia State and Lefty Driesell advance with a 50-49 victory over the Wisconsin Badgers. In Greensboro, another Big Ten team falls. Utah State in overtime over the Ohio State Buckeyes, 77-68. Chevy MVPs of that game, Bernard Rock of Utah State, Ohio State's Ken Johnson, your Chevy players of the game. Meanwhile, in Uniondale, New York, Kentucky over the Holy Cross Crusaders by a score of 72-68. Now, those of you ticketed for games in the West, in San Diego and Uniondale in the East, your games are coming up right now. Those of you ticketed for games in Boise and Greensboro, rest assured we will get you there for the tip-off of your games. That all comes your way right after this. Enjoy, everyone.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Chevrolet, the United States Marine Corps, Nextel, and by Screen Gems, The Brothers.
This is the all-new Silverado Heavy Duty. The most powerful heavy-duty pickup you can get. And the 2001 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Silverado Heavy Duty. More truck from Chevy.
When I go, I go. I get in the zone and everything gets left behind, especially my old antiperspirant. It never kept me dry, but this one's different. High endurance red zone. The strongest form of wetness protection ever made, just for guys who sweat big. Nothing is stronger. High endurance red zone absorbs in the skin to help stop odor and sweat where it starts. Guaranteed. Or call 1-800-PROVE-IT and Old Spice will buy you a stick of yours. Come on, take a dry run in the red zone. Intense protection for intense people.
Fred, can you get the new software that IT didn't approve?
I opened that virus just like IT told us not to.
At CDW, we understand what it can be like in IT. That's why we have top-name brands in stock, so you get the solutions you need when you need them. Like the compact ProLiant ML300 series server, with Microsoft Windows 2000 pre-installed.
Hey, Fred, you remember those upgrades I forgot to tell you about, right? Good.
Compaq and CDW, computing solutions built for business.
Knocks out the fat. George Foreman. All of the colors. All of the colors. Burger, chicken, hot dogs. Wow, things are looking more beautiful.
Looking after your wife's dad for the day is no problem.
Easy, I'm not a martini.
Unless you happen to lose them. An all-new King of Queens, CBS Monday.
Welcome to the Nassau Coliseum. And we are ready for our second game of the day here in the East as Iowa, a number 7, takes on Creighton, a number 10. Our first game of the day, a good one, as Kentucky outlasted Holy Cross, winning at 72-68 behind 27 points from Tayshaun Prince. Hello, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson, along with Dan Bonner. Creighton and Iowa, a much more even game. And when you look at this Iowa team, they're without Luke Recker. However, they've really managed to rally, especially down the stretch.
4 games in 4 days, winning the Big Ten tournament. Everybody really contributing, but this guy, Reggie Evans, 16 points, 13 rebounds a game in the Big Ten tournament. They had all 5 starters in double figures in that tournament.
Now, this Creighton ball club, a lot of people haven't heard about them. However, their coach is a good one, and he has a great basketball team on the floor.
Dana Altman, an outstanding coach for Creighton, his 7th year in the NCAA tournament. He's a veteran, and he's got a couple of guys in the backcourt in Sears and Walker, who are as good as they come in terms of being tough and experienced in this tournament.
All right, Creighton on the left, it's Taylor, Corver, Huss, Walker, and Sears, along with Worley, Henderson, Reggie Evans, the nation's leading rebounder, Boyd, and Dean Oliver, the point guard. Steve Alford, in his 2nd season, Indiana legend. He led the Hoosiers as a player to the national championship in '87. As you take a look, the officials, Kitts, Stupin, and Terry Weimer. Iowa in the white uniforms and Creighton in the blue. The series note, Iowa leads at 13-10, but Creighton has won 4 of the last 5 meetings, and the Hawkeyes control the tip. This is Oliver.
And Creighton starts in the man-to-man defense, and watch the matchup. Huss against Evans, 12 in blue, 32 in white.
Oliver looking inside for Evans. He'll take the jump shot. It's short. Ben Walker with the rebound. And here comes little Ryan Sears, the senior, a native of Iowa.
Taylor over there doing some splits and stretching, trying to catch that basketball.
Inside, and a whistle, traveling call. Alan Huss and the team profile. Creighton out of Omaha, Nebraska. They play in the Missouri Valley. Did not win their conference tournament, which was won by Indiana State, but they received an at-large bid.
They received an at-large bid as a mid-major based on the strength of their outside conference schedule. Some big wins for them this year against Nebraska and Wyoming.
Ranked 23rd in the RPI and Sagarin ratings. Inside, Huss on the drop step, leans forward and banks it home.
Now Huss is not a big offensive threat, comes in averaging fewer than 4 points a game, but early Creighton looks like they want to go after Reggie Evans, force him to play defense, maybe get him in foul trouble.
Here's some full court pressure now by the Blue Jays.
Well, Creighton likes to pressure you. They do a number of different types of pressures, and there's Evans with the ball inside, and part of what they try to do is not just to steal the ball, Gus, but to get you to take a shot a little quicker than you might normally want to.
Creighton finished the season 24-7, 14-4 in the Missouri Valley Conference. Huss again, the pump fake and the lay-in.
Gus, Creighton has had 3 possessions, and 3 times they've gone inside to Huss. He scored twice, turned it over the other time, and here's the pressure again.
So Dana Altman going directly at Reggie Evans. Now Worley, the bounce, Evans double teamed, loses it, loose ball, picked up by Evans. He takes the 11-foot jump shot and buries it. And a whistle, injured player.
I think it's Sears. He may have banged heads with somebody when he was diving after that loose ball.
Ryan Sears has started all 123 games of his career. And here comes a sub, Lyvan Pyfrom, senior from the Bahamas.
Sears dives in from the right side of the screen, covered up there by Worley, but I think that's what happened. Worley landed on his head. Man-to-man for Iowa.
Ben Walker, recruited as a tailback, coming out of high school to play football, elected to play basketball instead. Now Sears around the corner, lets it go, and the rebound goes to Oliver. Lead pass into the front court. Henderson on the move. Count it.
And that's Henderson's game, the slashing to the basket. Nice job to get out on the fast break. And Creighton certainly doesn't want to give up any easy baskets to Iowa.
Duez Henderson, a junior from Detroit, the deep jump shot. Korver inside, Pyfrom with the rebound and stick back.
Creighton uses 3 guys at the center position. Pyfrom, the second one to be in the game.
Denying the entry pass on the low post. Henderson dives for it. And Oliver will restart the offense. He's guarded by Terrell Taylor. Henderson thought about it. 7 to shoot. Brody Boyd has to get something going. Oliver, quick release. And the weak side rebound to Walker, his second.
Creighton doesn't mind pushing it up the floor either. They like to press on defense and run on offense. And Walker is a really tough player. He likes to go to the basket, and with that strength he can get there and score.
Taylor off the mark, knocked out of bounds, last touch by the Blue Jays. And here comes a substitute. Lindemann and the Iowa Hawkeyes team profile. They're located in Iowa City in the Big Ten Conference. Close to 30,000 students, and they won the Big Ten tournament winning 4 games in 4 days, as you mentioned, with some pretty nice upsets, outlasting Indiana in the championship.
Really interesting as you look at the statistics from that tournament, Gus. They scored 304 points as a team in that tournament, and the starters scored 260 of them.
Boyd to the basket, and it's high off the glass and in.
And that young man had 22 points in the Big Ten championship game against Indiana.
Walker the other way, off the front rim, and a whistle and foul against Creighton. Lindemann picks up his first. 15:47 to go. First half of play. We're tied at 6.
For 4 young brothers, there's no game they can't play.
We're the cream of the crop. We are the cream of the crop. You're on the bottom of the barrel.
No rule they won't break.
You gotta get a maid. I had one, it didn't work out. You had sex with it, didn't you? That was fine.
And no woman they can't handle.
I don't have a girlfriend.
Except their own.
Oh, I know she just dissed me, coming up in here with armor star. Give us free.
The Brothers.
I do not need the drama. Miss Jackie Chan.
Rated R. Opens everywhere March 23rd.
Yo.
Thompson, Gilman here. You at the office?
How's the trip going, sir?
Fine. Did Mackenzie's email say $4 million? And when's the meeting?
Call you right back.
Introducing Nextel Office Email. Calendar, contact list, email, right on your phone.
Me again. 4 million and the meeting's at 10.
Excellent work. Why don't you go home early?
Nextel. More ways than anyone to communicate with everyone.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Tahoe. Now offering a 3rd row of seats that's light and easier to handle than anything else out there. It's nowhere near anything. The new Chevy Tahoe, like a rock.
When 2 friends find out they're dating the same guy.
I'm such a loser. I'm the loser.
Becker knows just what to say.
Let's be fair. You're both losers.
All new Becker, CBS Monday.
Welcome back, Luke Recker. Probably the best overall player on this Iowa team. Had to sit out because of a knee injury suffered against Missouri and aggravated against Indiana, and they miss him a whole heck of a lot, Dan.
They really struggled when he first went out. They lost 7 of 9 games, but then they really put it together in the Big Ten tournament, winning those 4 in a row.
In and out, inside the rebound, and put back. Glenn Worley, the freshman from Iowa City. And a closer look at Luke Recker. With him or without him. That's a U2 song, Dan. With or without you.
The interesting thing about that is, though, the last 4 they've won in a row, and in doing so, they averaged over 76 points a game. So other people have stepped up. The 5 guys who are out on the floor right now have really learned to play without him and play very well together.
Worley adds the free throw, and Lindemann picks up his 2nd foul. 9-6 Iowa on top of Creighton. Meanwhile, a whistle. Foul away from the basketball called on Worley. And for these Creighton Blue Jays, as you take a look at what's coming up next, UCLA and Hofstra, Iowa is their closest Big Ten rival. So this is a big game for them for more than just obvious reasons. Some of you will be going to that UCLA Hofstra tip, and Piper with the jam on the lob.
Gus, there are 6 Iowans on the Creighton roster.
So here comes a half-court trap by the Creighton Blue Jays.
Creighton traps, and then they try to drop back in man-to-man. And every once in a while, that creates some mismatches.
Anderson trying to feed the low post, tapped away. 14 to shoot. Now Brody Boyd In the corner to Oliver. Got a good look and hits.
Boy, just some miscommunication right there. Haynes and thought Sears was going to switch, and Sears stayed with his guy, and that left Dean Oliver all alone, and you cannot allow Dean Oliver to stand there and have that much time on the three-point shot.
He's a 35% three-point shooter, 58 of 165 on the year. Now Pyfrom on the wheel down the baseline. They caught him for hooking his man. That's a pretty savvy veteran move for a young man that's only played 5 years of organized basketball.
But he's in there. He knows that they've got to attack, and unfortunately you do that right in front of the referee. And what I mean is you get that elbow. The referee can see your elbow on the offensive player's back, and they're almost always going to call that a foul on the offense.
He moved to the United States his senior year from the Bahamas, start picking up ball, went to junior college at Eastern Oklahoma State, and now is a big-time contributor on Dana Altman's squad. 12-8. Hawkeyes. Boyd around the screen, shooting from downtown, in and out. Blue Jays want to run. Nice no-look pass. Here's Taylor, gets him set and rips.
And Creighton is a team that can shoot the three, Gus. 244 three-point baskets on the year. They had one game where they made 14 threes and 4 different guys made them.
And Oliver throws it out of bounds. Creighton as a team, Dan, shoots 36%. Steve Alford, he could shoot the three a little bit too, I remember.
Right now, he's more concerned about them defending the three. And he doesn't want them to throw the ball out of bounds against the Creighton pressure.
12-11. Now Corver dumps it down. Walker changed his shot and banks it in.
Gus, you talked about Ben Walker, a guy who was very highly recruited as a football player but went to Creighton to play basketball because that's his first love. 6'2". He just takes it right up against the 6'11" Jason Reiner and just knocks it down.
So Ben Walker averages 12 points a game out of Oak Creek, Wisconsin. He was recruited by 6 Big Ten schools as a football player, including Iowa. What could have been 14-12 Creighton. Here's Worley now on the baseline. Reggie Evans hadn't gotten a lot of touches. Worley travels. So don't forget, coming up next, Steve Lavin and the UCLA Bruins, seated 4th in Greensboro, taking on the 13th seeded Hofstra squad. And Hofstra plays about 2 minutes from where we're sitting right now, here in Hempstead, Long Island. Walker, the banker, down the lane. 8-0 run for the Creighton Blue Jays.
Walker, another one of those guys that doesn't mind putting it on the floor. He's got the quickness to get past you out on the perimeter and the strength to score inside.
Fans wanted to walk. Rod Thompson kept his pivot foot, though. Now Duez Henderson.
Well, Iowa really struggling to find somebody to score points here in the last couple of possessions. And there, Jared Reiner draws the foul from Alan Huss. Now, we talked about Ben Walker, and again, he just puts his head down, gets his head and shoulders past the defender outside, and then is not bothered at all by the fact that one of the big guys, in that case Thompson, comes up to try to guard him. He just shoots right over top.
Inside, Thompson forces it up, comes up short, knocked out of bounds. We'll stay right here. So Creighton on an 8-0 run in the last 2:20.
And Steve Alford has gone to his bench, and again we'll point out that the bench was very productive in terms of getting minutes in the Big Ten tournament, but they did not score very many points. So Iowa, you have to think it's Oliver and Boyd, the primary offensive threats.
Knocked out of bounds once again. Rayner unable to lay it down, and the Blue Jays will receive. And here comes some subs. Corver back into the game.
We'll get used to the fact that Dana Altman is going to run guys in and out of there. Creighton plays a lot of people.
Dana Altman, 3 consecutive trips to the NCAAs at Creighton. Went also once with Kansas State. Meanwhile, Taylor with the turnaround jumper on the baseline. .11:45 to go here in the first half of play. Creighton with an 18-12 lead on a 10-0 run. Now Oliver working. Blocked by Walker, fouled by Walker.
Gus, did you see how long Walker stayed up in the air?
I thought he was about 7 feet tall.
I thought he was suspended from the ceiling. Walker, number 4, coming in. Watch, he hangs up in the air as Oliver doesn't release the ball. Just hangs up there and knocks it away. That is a great, great play. Oliver draws the foul because he moves right into him, but Walker, I didn't think he was ever coming down.
So Dean Oliver at the line, a 5'11" senior from Mason City, Iowa. Can't get the first to fall, a 76% free throw shooter. Third team all Big Ten.
And Dean Oliver is a guy who has got to take the ball and penetrate to the basket as he did right there. I think his ability to draw the defense is very important to this Iowa offense.
Second one good. 11:35 to go, first half of play. Creighton on top of Iowa, 18-13.
20 years now, where'd they go? 20 years, I don't know. I sit and I wonder sometimes where they've gone.
Need some help, old man?
My boy. Generation after generation. It's good to have someone you can depend on.
Kevin, I'm going out. Remember, when the guy comes to fix the dryer, tell him it doesn't dry. If your mother calls, find out what flight she's on, otherwise we won't know where to meet her. Dinner's in the oven. Turn it on at 5.
Eat a Wendy's honey ham and chicken sandwich and something happens. That delicious combination of a whole breast filet, honey ham, and creamy Dijon sauce makes it difficult to pay attention to anything else.
And I told the neighbor you'd feed their cat. If you have a minute, honey, the back door's stuck open.
Come in.
Wendy's honey ham and chicken.
Lunch, anyone? Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to work we go.
Hi-ho, hi-ho, hi-ho. If you want happy employees, help secure their financial futures. At the Principal Financial Group, that's what we do. We're the 401k leader and offer financial solutions for you and growing businesses. The Principal Financial Group, we understand what you're working for.
This is a bucket of water. Goodyear's new AquaTread 3 pumps away over a gallon per second. And with its 80,000-mile tread life limited warranty, that's a lot of water. New AquaTread 3, only from Goodyear.
Enterprise? You rented our car from Enterprise?
Yeah.
Why Enterprise?
Because they pick us up. Free.
A free pickup? Wow, they ought to be #1.
They are #1.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
New York's toughest cop.
We're going out.
Will do anything for his family.
Thank you, Michael.
It's the year's best new drama.
Everybody comes.
Big Apple, CBS Wednesday after Survivor.
Creighton by 5. Let's join the third member of our team, Dwayne Ballin.
Gus, back in January, Creighton had lost to Evansville on the road. They were 5-4 in the conference, and they were tied for 5th place. At that time, they called a players-only meeting, after which they won 11 straight.
And credit Dana Altman with being able to circle the wagons in Omaha and get his team on the right track. This guy is one of the best coaches in the country, folks, that you never hear about. When jobs come up, you never hear his name mentioned, and he can coach with anybody.
Well, he's very content being in Omaha. He was born about 90 miles from Omaha, and he's got 4 kids, and they really like the whole situation down there.
Weak side, Walker. Loose ball tapped. Oliver picks it up. His second rebound. Inside. Thompson travels. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the tournament summary. 2 Big Ten teams already eliminated. Ohio State, Wisconsin gone. And 3 games decided by 14 points.
And we've got 2 on a 12 seed and 11 seed advancing, so upsets already. in this tournament, and that game we had here earlier, Kentucky and Holy Cross, was really an entertaining ball game.
Meanwhile, Ryan Sears knocks down a three, his first basket of the game. And Creighton goes up 21-13. Blue Jays with their largest lead.
And Creighton has been able to create the kind of tempo that they want. Iowa has not been able to go inside and get any production from Evans to this point.
Evans calling for it. Knocked out of bounds.
Nice job by Justin Haynes to drop down there and knock the ball out of bounds.
But Dan, did you see as soon as the ball started to go to Evans, three guys converged on him?
Well, Henderson and Worley are not going to be guys who are going to stick the perimeter jump shot. And so you can really afford to play off them if they're outside.
Oliver knocked around, picked up on the sideline by Worley, his second rebound.
Well, Worley picked that one up, but Evans is the guy that knocked it out of there.
St. Joe's on top of Georgia Tech right now in an 8-9 game. Evans double team, looks weak side. Worley, he's got to take it and hits it from 17 feet.
And if Worley can hit that shot, that's really going to open things up on the inside for Evans.
21-15 Creighton. Iowa a 7, Creighton a 10. Now Walker straight away. Swirls out. Walker with the rebound. Gets closer. Still won't go. And Reggie Evans comes up with the board. Evans.
You don't want Evans dribbling the ball in from the top of the key. Brody Boyd's going to take it back outside and set it up wisely so, I think.
And a whistle, a foul called against Creighton. And this is Haynes. If you're going to run through a screen, that's the way to do it.
Gus, if you're going to get called for that kind of a foul, you may as well get your money's worth, and Justin Haynes certainly did.
He wiped out Henderson.
Well, Henderson is going to think twice about setting the screen the next time. Henderson is the guy in the low post. He steps out there, and Haynes just really hammers him.
Oliver along with Boyd in the backcourt. Evans, Worley, Henderson in the front court for the Iowa Hawkeyes, down 21-15. Creighton with some kind of matchup zone here.
Now they're trying to match up and make it difficult to get the ball inside.
Steps up and rips. Duez Henderson with 5.
It's only his 9th three-point basket of the year.
Sears.
And Iowa has suddenly cut off the inside for Creighton. Creighton gets some inside baskets early, but not recently.
Korver off the mark, diagonal pass. Worley stripped by Sears.
That's just great hustle by Sears. Now Worley's got to get back and get into play.
He reloads and does. Get into the play.
Leading three-point shooter right there for the Creighton Blue Jays.
Korver, and 47% three-point shooter. That's his 99th three of the season.
Well, you better find him out on the perimeter.
You better get him. Inside Worley again. So Creighton with the transition basket on top of Iowa, 24-18. So Worley is at the line shooting 1 and 1.
And Iowa really needs to do a better job getting Worley open on the inside. And that's exactly what you saw on that last Iowa possession. Don't want to concentrate on just getting the ball inside to Reggie Evans. Worley is a very effective inside player as well.
Worley is a freshman from Iowa City. Here comes a sub. Ismael Caro, a freshman from Manchester, Connecticut, coming in for the Creighton Blue Jays. Both free throws good. 7:45 to go. First half of play. 24-20. Creighton.
If you're going to do it right. That's brilliant.
The Masters on CBS.
There's a place where folks can get a lot of good food for not a lot of money. It's got to be Applebee's. Look at this, Applebee's Combo Barbecue. 2 barbecues on 1 plate. A one-of-a-kind smoked riblet sharing space with 2 mesquite grilled chicken breasts. Is this heaven or what? It's got to be Applebee's. Eating good. Eating good, eating good. In the neighborhood.
Chevy is now accepting torchbearer nominations for the Salt Lake 2002 Olympic Torch Relay. To nominate someone who inspires you, get a form from your local Chevy dealer or go to Chevy.com. Chevy, on the road to Salt Lake City. We'll be there.
Ah, infinite possibilities. Kind of like when you first got the internet. But now, slow logons and disconnects are really holding you back. Free yourself with the AT&T 7/7 offer and get unlimited internet access and long distance together. Only $7 a month gives you AT&T WorldNet service with the fastest logon times and better connections, plus 7 cents a minute long distance all day, every day. Call now for the AT&T 7/7 offer.
It is more than a trial by fire. It is a rite of passage. And if you can master your fear, outsmart your enemy, and never yield even to yourself, you will be changed forever. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg in New York. We'll get you back to Creighton and Iowa and Uniondale in just a moment. But first, let's tell you quickly what's happening elsewhere. In Greensboro, North Carolina, Hofstra and UCLA are doing battle, and they are in a timeout right now with UCLA in the lead. Hofstra with the longest winning streak in the nation on the line, Clark.
It's in jeopardy today because UCLA has gotten off to a strong offensive start, which leads to their ability to put pressure on you with their press.
Hofstra has won 18 straight. Meanwhile, in San Diego, St. Joe's with the lead on Georgia Tech at this point. And we talked earlier, Clark, about St. Joe's being a little upset at their seeding. They're taking it out on Georgia Tech.
This is a very good basketball team, solid backcourt guys. Georgia Tech relies an awful lot on the three. They've not shot it well here in the first half so far.
All right, we'll keep you updated on that game. Meanwhile, in Boise, Idaho, George Mason and Maryland just underway, and George Mason with a 7-2 lead on the Terps, who would dearly love to get to the next round and play against Lefty Drizel.
Well, it appeared to me as though Maryland was rushing. They were anxious. They've got to calm down, just settle down, relax, and play.
All right, we'll keep you updated on the scores. Let's get you back to Uniondale, New York. Gus Johnson and Dan Bonner.
Evans, a little emotional. Not about the call, but about his team not getting the ball to him.
Gus, it's very hard for a big guy. If you're open, you need to have the ball right now. And if you don't get it, then the defense slides into position. So you've got to battle for position all over again. And lots of times you get a foul.
Korver rims out. Evans with the rebound, his second. He leads the nation in rebounding, averaging 12 per game. Now Brody Boyd.
Boy, Henderson fortunate didn't lose that one. Man to man.
Boyd in the corner, 14 to shoot. Evans wants it, takes it, short. Pfeiffer with the rebound.
That was against 3 guys, Gus.
And Korver steps on the baseline. Nice hands, Dan Bonner. The ball came all the way to us at midcourt. You reached out there and got it.
Just self-defense, Gus, self-defense.
How are your Virginia Cavaliers going to do today, or rather against Gonzaga?
Well, the Cavaliers are an interesting matchup for Gonzaga. They both score an awful lot of points. That game, of course, will be in Memphis tomorrow.
Dean Oliver over the line. Oliver.
Well, Steve Alford using an awful lot of guys early in the game.
Oliver for three, way off the mark. Carroll in the front court, kick by Jason Smith. Right now, Steve Alford is a little upset. Reminiscent of his college coach. I think he took that move from Bob Knight. Now Sears. Loose ball rebounded by Jason Smith.
Oh, what a great job by Oliver to maintain possession of that ball.
How about that? A whirling dervish. Dean Oliver. 24-22 now as Ben Walker gets ready to check into the game. Inside. Pyfrom off the mark. Iowa can tie it up right here.
And Iowa's not adverse to pushing the ball up the court.
Worley, strip. Picked up by Oliver. No look pass Henderson. And a whistle and foul against the Hawkeyes.
Dean Oliver does such a great job handling the ball. Very nearly lost there. Somehow he maintained his dribble, and then he doesn't panic. He just controls the basketball and whips it around. And Oliver very nearly comes up with this ball right here. That is a great job to maintain possession of the ball. And then even though he's in the lane, guys are all around him, he makes the nice pass. Very nearly scored a basket.
Walker back into the game. Pyfrom in the pivot. Turn. Loose. Henderson with the rebound.
Well, you get the ball that close to the basket, you really, really have to convert.
Right now, Oliver doing a little over dribbling. Almost lost it, especially against Sears, who has 71 steals on the season. More steals than turnovers.
And the all-time leader, not only in Creighton, but in the Missouri Valley Conference in steals.
Will rob you. Oliver gathers himself and knocks it down.
Sears is a guy who is a theology major and wants to be a minister, but he's out there stealing everything.
What's the 10th commandment? Thou shalt not steal.
That's actually the 7th.
7th, excuse me. Carroll steps back.
Well, Iowa's gotten out of the continuity of their offense just a little bit. They're not very patient. Make one pass and shoot, and that's not the way to handle things. Sonderleiter with that rebound, and he's a guy that doesn't really play a whole lot of minutes.
Sonderleiter forces it up and gets the bounce. And a timeout. Iowa on an 8-0 run. The Hawkeyes take a 26-24 lead.
This is Janice. How can I help you, Mr. Walker?
Yes, hi. I was having a bad day today. I've had enough! I decided that I was going to get in my car and, take a drive. Anyway, I took a wrong turn.
Relax. We'll get you home.
Impala, with 200 horsepower and, fortunately, OnStar. Chevy Impala. We'll be there.
Right here, right now, right here, right now.
Why are RE/MAX agents so successful at helping you buy or sell a home? They're born with it.
Identify Tudor. Correct. She'll make a splendid agent.
Remax.
The internet helps you reach millions of customers around the globe. But who's keeping you in touch with the internet?
Fujitsu. The possibilities are infinite.
Big green combine, edgy at the wheel, under a big sky, working in the field. From the brewery crew to the lager-in man, get it to you fast and fresh as they can. This is from the people working hard every day, talking about the folks who get this bud my way. This bud's for you, and you and you and you. This bud's for you.
3:17 to go, first half of play. Iowa up by 2, the game reset.
And one of the problems for the Creighton Blue Jays in this recent run is they've been settling too much for the three-point basket, Gus. And 11 three-point attempts out of 24 attempts is too many for the Creighton Blue Jays. And so Dana Altman going to try to get that straightened away.
And Dean Oliver starting to really take over a little bit in the backcourt for Iowa.
Oliver's a very, very solid backcourt player. And they just, speaking of solid backcourt players, they lost Walker.
Ben Walker. Skywalker on that play. Ties it at 26.
And with that score, Creighton able to set the pressure defense. See, Iowa, they beat the pressure and then they back it out and allow Creighton to find their men. Creighton dropping back into a man-to-man after that pressure.
That was the first Creighton basket in 5 minutes. Snapping an 8-0 Iowa run. A whistle and foul on the baseline.
Sears going to pick up the foul, trying to impede the progress. Now, we just mentioned that Creighton doing a lot of three-point shooting, and here Walker just gives the fake and blows right by Henderson out on the perimeter. Boy. And I know Ben Walker's quick, but you got to move your feet a little bit better than that on defense.
So Brody Boyd, a freshman from Duggar, Indiana, at the line. Don't miss a minute of action for live game updates. Go to March Mayhem's Tournament Live at the Internet's home of college basketball. CBS.sportsline.com or AOL keyword CBS Sportsline. Boyd misses the second, and there's a young man that's had to grow up extremely fast with the injuries to Luke Recker and Ryan Hogan.
Well, everybody talks about Recker and how much Iowa misses Recker, but they forget that soon after Recker went down, Hogan went down.
And Sears knocking one down, his second three. Has 6. 29-27, Creighton.
Creighton stays with the pressure, and now they try to match up. And this kind of defensive play really requires communication among the teammates out there. They've got to talk to one another, find the open guys.
Evans squatting inside. And a foul.
Every time Evans catches it down inside, he draws a huge crowd. And actually, Evans, it wasn't a blocked shot. I thought Korver blocked it, but watch as Evans catches the ball. He's just going to put it right up into the corner of the backboard. And as a result, he loses it. Huss comes over trying to help out and gets the foul.
Huss picks up his second. Takes a seat. And a sub coming into the game for the Blue Jays. Mike Grimes wears number 34. And Evans, he gets to the free throw line an awful lot.
323 times, more than anyone else in the country.
First one is good. Reggie on the season, a 61% free throw shooter.
As a team, Gus, Iowa has been to the free throw line more than 1,000 times this year. And of course, it helps when one guy goes to the line. Now 325 attempts on the year.
Short on the second. Ben Walker with his 4th rebound. 29-28 Creighton. Under 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Korver in and out. Inside Grimes, get it to stay down, taken away by Oliver.
Boy, Oliver just waited till he brought it down.
Oliver, hard dribble across the lane, the deal and layup by Henderson.
And that's why Oliver's penetration is so important to this offense. He really draws the attention of the defenders, and they just forgot about Henderson.
Hawkeyes by 1. Now Grimes, fouled, going to the basket. Our first game here in the East between Kentucky and Holy Cross today. Won by Kentucky 72-68, but Ralph Willard's Crusaders battled them from start to finish.
Well, no question, a big-time performance by Tayshaun Prince. Holy Cross actually tied the game at 58, and Prince came out and scored the next 8 points for Kentucky. 2 3-point shots in a row, and then a drive to the basket and a bucket. So Prince really got Kentucky going when they were in deep trouble.
Mike Grimes gets the second. 1:21 to go here in the first half of play. Oliver distributing.
This company was showing its age, but it discovered a new market opportunity. Alas, its data was locked in systems that were showing their age too. The company feared they would have to replace the systems. Instead, their new software allowed them to quickly transform them. The software is neither humble nor vain with its facelift. Always adaptable and eternally youthful. Enterprise software from Microsoft.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?
Kermit the Frog here.
Come up and see me sometime.
Just the best of times.
Express.
Right now at Blockbuster, get a DirecTV system for only $49.99. And at Blockbuster, you'll get free professional installation on your DirecTV system. Not only that, Blockbuster will give you an entire year of free movies, games, and DVDs. Plus, we'll also throw in a free 2-year extended service plan. It's a DirecTV system for only $49.99. It's free professional installation. It's free rentals for a year. It's a free 2-year extended service plan. It's the deal you don't want to miss. Only at Blockbuster.
This is your mouse making the moves on CBS Sportsline, hitting scores, stats, contests. It's a slam dunk on CBS.Sportsline.com when you've got to know more and fast.
CBS Sports coverage of the entire NCAA basketball tournament is interactive through Ultimate TV. Steve Alford and the Hawkeyes fight back, game tied at 30 apiece. 1:20 to go here in the first half of play. Courtney Scott, number 52 in the game for Iowa. Henderson to the basket, shuffles his feet and travels. 6th turnover for the Hawkeyes in the first half. And don't forget, coming up, Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg with the singular at the half. They'll have scores and highlights plus live look-ins at the Hofstra UCLA game, George Mason and Maryland.
Iowa now drops back into his zone.
Inside Grimes with his own rebound, comes up short. Courtney Scott with the board.
Grimes has really missed a lot of close opportunities to the basket.
Right now, a herky-jerky kind of game, Dan.
Really is a funny type of game, and I think it's because the teams are trying to punch the ball inside, and they're not having a lot of success.
Now Evans. Oliver. He's fouled from behind. Taylor clipped him, and Dean Oliver will go to the line. Saturday on CBS, a sting operation exposes police corruption. Now the toughest fight against crime is between the cops themselves. Don't miss Craig T. Nelson in the district, Saturday on CBS.
Dean Oliver has really been the key for Iowa here in the first half. His ability to handle the pressure and to get some penetration to the basket is what has Iowa ahead by 1.
Worley comes back into the game. And Oliver is the first Hawkeye to have 500 assists, 200 steals, score 1,500 points in his career. Only 2 other people have done that in the Big Ten. Gary Grant from Michigan and Bruce Douglas from Illinois.
Gives you a perfect idea of what a great career Oliver has had at the University of Iowa. And you don't, when people talk about the great guards in the country or in the Big Ten, they don't often mention Dean Oliver.
He has 10 points. Iowa by 2. Was a tough shot. Sears leaning in, knocked out of bounds. Korver touches it last. And a timeout called by the Hawkeyes. 29.7 to go in the first half of play. 2-point game.
What will communications be when it finally grows up? Satellite? Broadband? Wireless? Fiber optic? With technologies from Agilent, communications can grow up to be whatever it wants to be. Let's see what this baby can do.
Iowa, 29.7 to go in the first half of play. Your impressions of the first half so far?
I think it's the first half where Creighton is going to go to the locker room at halftime, Gus, and feel as if they missed an opportunity in the first half. They played pretty well defensively, really cut Reggie Evans out of the offense a great deal. Evans has not been a factor, and yet Iowa with a 2-point lead and has a chance to extend it at halftime.
Shot clock turned off. Game clock reads 16 seconds. Oliver taking his time. He'll go into his move at 10. Here he goes. Evans. 5 to shoot. Boyd, quick release. Loose ball. Pythram with the rebound. And that's the end of the first half of play. With the score, Iowa 32 out of the Big Ten Conference. Creighton 30. Here's Dwayne Ballin on the sideline.
Coach Alford, your impressions of the first half.
Well, they've done a good job in frustrating. Our guys have not done a good job of following what we want to do offensively in particular, and it's got us a little bit more up-tempo, and we're not getting the ball inside.
Good luck in the second half. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gus?
All right, Dwayne, now let's go to New York, where Greg Gumbel is standing by.
All right, Gus, thank you. We're going to take you right out to San Diego, the Cox Arena at the Aztec Bowl. Dick Enberg and Bill Walton, they're in the final minute. St. Joe's leading Georgia Tech. Let's take you there live.
Here at Cox Arena in San Diego, St. Joe's has opened a 15-point lead over the number 8 seed Georgia Tech. St. Joe's at 9. Fine is denied. Crenshaw on a breakaway. It is O'Connor, Marvin O'Connor, the leading scorer for St. Joseph's, and the Hawks are flying late in this opening half.
And the Hawk will never die here as St. Joseph's put on a clinic. Stifling defense, denying Georgia Tech at every turn, and then incredibly creative offense. Tony Akins can't answer.
And Phillips with the rebound, 2.5 seconds. Nelson, a desperation last. Oh, very close for the freshman, Jameer Nelson. And what an impressive first half for Phil Martelli, St. Joseph's Hawks, as they take a 17-point lead into the locker room.
The transition game for St. Joe's has just been so dominant. Everyone involved, Nelson, O'Connor, Crenshaw, all feeding off the dynamic defense.
O'Connor and Phillips with 8 each to lead St. Joe's, and Akins with 9 for Georgia Tech. Let's go to Leslie Visser.
Phil, at one point, 15 unanswered points. You forced 8 turnovers. You must be pretty happy.
Yeah, I think we can play better, though. I mean, we only have 1 made 3. That's a staple in our offense, and our looks have been good. I think we'll loosen up a little bit. I thought we were a little tight the first 6 or 7 minutes, but I'm pleased with the lead at half.
So far, so good. Thanks, Phil. Back to you, Dick.
Yeah, coaches are never happy, are they? They want more threes. That's the end of the first half with a score. St. Joseph's 41, Georgia Tech 24. CBS exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
It's
It's drive time. Get to your Goodyear retailer, where right now you'll get a $50 fast credit when you buy 4 selected tires on your Goodyear card account. That's $50 you'll save right on the spot. Qualifying tires include selected Goodyear Eagles, Goodyear Wranglers, and the new AquaTread 3. The $50 fast credit offer, only from Goodyear. For complete details from the retailer nearest you, call 1-800-GOODYEAR.
Some people say I'm a renegade. Well, let me tell you how it is. If you break the law in my town, you're going to pay. I want them arrested. I don't make the laws. I make them work.
The District, CBS Saturday.
David Letterman, Surviving the Late Show, tonight on CBS.
Judy, hold on, baby. Hello? Judy, come on, we can talk about this, baby. Don't go. Baby, I can change. I can change. Judy!
Sure gonna miss you.
Now get 0.9% financing plus $1,250 cash back or $2,500 cash back on Ford Explorer. Only at your local Ford store.
Announcing no comparison whatsoever. Here's their backbone. This is ours. They call this hosting? This is hosting. In the realm of e-business solutions, some have no serious experience, and some have no serious competition. Announcing Sprint e-Solutions.
Yes? I'm here for your DLJ Direct upgrade. Upgrade? Where's your computer, please? That's over there. You see, DLJ Direct has tapped into the strength of Credit Suisse First Boston to form CSFB Direct. Now you can invest online with more award-winning research, more global resources, and more IPOs. Impressive. Will this take long? Not at all. Enjoy the power, sir.
Invest online with CSFB Direct.
Hold on. We've got more prizes. For the student who sells the most candy, a weekend pass to Coastal Kingdom to get out there and sell that candy.
The new Passat. It only looks like $1 million.
2 games are at halftime. 2 others are in progress in the first half. We'll take you out for live look-ins coming right up.
CBA Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular, the wireless company that believes in the value of self-expression.
Welcome once again to Singular at the Half. I'm Greg Gumbel in our New York studio, along with Clark Kellogg. Halftime of the game in Uniondale, New York. The Iowa Hawkeyes trying to uphold the Big Ten standard for the day, leading Creighton by 2 at 32-30. Big Ten teams were 5-1 on opening day last year. They are 0-2 so far today, and Iowa was down early on.
Exactly. I thought all the Big Ten teams would struggle, other than Michigan State, Indiana, and who did I leave out? Michigan State, Indiana, Illinois. But when you talk about this game today, Iowa got disrupted by the pressing defense of Creighton, and then Creighton got away from what they were doing, started settling for perimeter shots. As a result, Iowa was able to get back into the game.
All right, Clark. Meanwhile, in San Diego, St. Joseph's leading Georgia Tech by a score of 41-24. The Hawks are taking anger out on someone.
They really are. They're controlling the boards, turning Georgia Tech over, and Georgia Tech not making the three-point shot like they normally do.
All right, games in action right now in Greensboro, North Carolina, Hofstra and UCLA. It's a 1-point Bruins lead coming up on 5 minutes to play in the first half. Let's join Kevin Harlan and John Sunvold.
UCLA has led by as many as 7, and Hofstra's Jason Hernandez missing the shot right there, which would have given Hofstra the lead. It is 23-22 with 4th-seeded UCLA on top of 13th-seeded Hofstra. We've already had one gigantic upset in this region as the 12th-seeded Aggies of Utah State went to overtime and beat the 5th-seeded Ohio State Buckeyes from the Big Ten. And so that gives hopes to teams like Hofstra coming in at 13 against a 4 seed.
Well, give credit to Jay Wright. Pass by Watson. On the money again.
Barnes getting up high.
You know, Jay Wright's been able to change the complexion of this game. Slowed it down offensively. Defensively, they've gotten back. UCLA, not many easy hoops. You just saw one of them. And offensively, they've pulled the ball back out. Now they're taking open looks.
Apodaca again with Barnes. Flying in his face, hits it right between the eyes, and ties the game at 25. 10 points now for Apodaca. That is a foul on UCLA with 4:23 to play in the first half.
Kevin, spread the floor offensively, move the basketball, penetrate a little bit, you make the defense move. Apodaca deep. Sideline thought he got bumped. Could have been a 4-point play. 6 of 12 from three-point land. The Pride.
Apodaca has been leading the charge. 10 points. He's gone 3 of 8. Full-court pressure again. That's a turnover. Bailey secures it for the Bruins, leading to Jason Capono, who has not scored and taken 2 shots. And Capono is the UCLA leading scorer. A 3 here, another miss. He starts 0 of 3 in the rebound by Roberto Gittins of Hofstra. Hernandez tries a streak. Barnes is in his way. Now guarded by Bailey. 47% shooting for the Pride of Hofstra. 55% shooting for the Bruins of UCLA.
Find a shot clock down to about 12. Then they go to work. Every possession unless they have an easy look.
Apodaca again. Rebound inside is doubled up by Springfield. Loose inside. Vacuumed in by Bailey. Here goes Watson. Capono. There's Dan Gadzurek with a good start for him. Losing it there. Barnes inside. Gadzurek had a chance at it. Here comes the Pride with a 3-on-2. Richardson lost it. Inside to Roberto Gittins. And Richardson for 3. Good! Hofstra's got the lead. They're on a 14-4 run.
So under 3 minutes to play, Hofstra riding an 18-game winning streak with a 3-point lead on UCLA. Now in West Region action in Boise, George Mason with the lead on Maryland. Let's take you live and join Craig Bolerjack and James Worthy.
6:28 left first half here in Boise, Idaho. George Mason on top of Maryland by a score of 25-20.
And as you mentioned earlier, so far Maryland has not been able to get Baxter and Morris off. Dixon's hit some shots, but he's not been a big factor. George Mason has come in and put their tempo into gear.
Offensive problem for the Terrapins. Price at 5'8", pushes that shot up and in.
Well, George Mason's one of them.
So that's a quick look at George Mason and Maryland, the Patriots with a 6-point lead. We, of course, will keep you updated on that and everything else that's happening. We'll send you back to Uniondale for the second half of Creighton and Iowa after this.
Singular at the Half has been sponsored by Singular, the wireless company that believes in the value of self-expression.
Announcing Singular, the wireless company that believes in the value of self-expression.
There is a start, there is a finish, and in the journey between, there are dreams. The NCAA Hall of Champions keeps these dreams alive for you. More than a museum, the NCAA Hall of Champions takes you on an interactive journey. Relive some of the most inspirational moments in collegiate sports history and walk in the steps of the student athlete. At the NCAA Hall of Champions, you'll find something for every fan. Discover what it means to be a champion. The journey begins inside.
Growing up, all we wanted to do was play. But as the world opened up to us, it became easier to get sidetracked And just one single bet, one simple step can blow not only your education, but a chance to compete in the sport that we love.
They watch from the stands while their money changes hands.
The only thing worth betting on is ourselves.
There's one thing that you must do, in my opinion, to win the Masters, and that's to putt well.
A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS.
Halftime in Long Island, Iowa up by 2. We'll return to Nassau Coliseum after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching CBS's exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship.
Every year about this time, there's usually a major upset or two. So why should this year be any different? Presenting the car that drove off with one of Germany's most coveted new car awards and had the audacity not to be German. The Volvo S60. To savor this Cinderella story and possibly win a Volvo S60, visit revolvolution.com.
The King of Queens, Mondays on CBS. It's all here.
Microfinished camshafts and lightweight pistons mean less friction. Less friction means more power. More power means suddenly the speed of light doesn't seem so fast anymore. The Infiniti i30. It's all the best thinking.
Announcing no comparison whatsoever. Here's their transport. This is ours. Their responsiveness? Ours. In the realm of e-business solutions, some have no serious experience, and some have no serious competition. Announcing Sprint e-Solutions.
Judy, hold on, baby. Hello? Judy? Come on, we can talk about this, baby. Don't go. Baby, I can change. I can change. Judy!
Sure gonna miss you.
Now get 0.9% financing plus $1,250 cash back or $2,500 cash back on Ford Explorer. Only at your local Ford store.
And by United Airlines.
Iowa by 2 at halftime. You know, some people in the media feel that Steve Alford will be heading to Indiana after this season. Mike Davis, the interim coach. And he was asked that yesterday, and quite frankly, I think Coach Alford's getting tired of hearing it.
I'm not interested in entertaining any questions about Indiana University. They're in a regional somewhere. I don't know where they're at. First round site. Go out there and ask Indiana people about what's going on at Indiana. We are the Big Ten champions. We are the university.
So Steve Alford dismissing the talk of returning to his alma mater at the press conference as Ben Walker travels to start the second half of play. What do you think, Dan?
Well, I think that Steve Alford, a very successful coach who's a graduate of Indiana University, that there's no way he can stop people from talking about it. And unless there's a steal and Taylor gets it and scores the basket, until they hire somebody else, folks are always going to talk about it.
32 our score. Mike Davis, the interim coach who took over for Bob Knight at Indiana, has done a fantastic job leading them to the tournament championship and a berth into the NCAAs. Meanwhile, Evans short. And Indiana will play Kent State later on tonight in San Diego. Now Walker squaring up on Henderson. The backdoor Sears. Nice ball fake. Finds Huss, who lays it in.
Alan Huss scored 2 baskets coming right out of the blocks early in the game. Haven't heard from him since. Very nearly missed that one, though. So Creighton comes out and starts quickly.
Oliver breaks the press by himself, feeds Evans, who can't hang on the baseline. Now, moments ago, our Dwayne Ballin talked to Dana Altman.
Coach Altman, a very close first half. What are your plans for the second half?
Well, I think we want to do a lot of the same things. We want to continue to run the floor and look for some easy shots. We got some good looks from the 3 that we didn't hit that we usually knock down. We can hit a few of those, stay with them on the boards. I like our chances.
Good luck in the second half. Thank you.
Lindemann lays it in. 36-32 now Creighton.
This up and down pace really does favor Creighton, and he mentioned that they got some looks in the first half from 3 that they would normally make. Kyle Korver, a 47% three-point shooter, only 1 for 5 from out there in the first half. Creighton stays with the man-to-man.
Offensive foul called inside against Worley. His second.
And Worley's telling him that he's open in there and he wants to have the ball. And at halftime, I'm sure that Steve Alford talked about the necessity to get the ball inside. And so Worley's battling for inside position. He thinks that he's open, and when you don't get it, then you still got to keep fighting that defensive guy. You really are prone to picking up a foul.
As those low post players like to say, if you want the big dog to guard the yard, you got to feed him. Backdoor Sears, beautiful play. Right now, Creighton starting to pick Iowa apart. 38-32. They're 4 for 4 in the second half of play. Here's the diamond press, broken easily. And Steve Alford has seen enough. 17:24 to go in the second half. Creighton up 38-32.
There's always a combination of taking your knowledge and applying it. For example, I know who the shooter is. I know what he does, what he thinks, under stress, how he'll act, what's his favorite thing to do, what's his least favorite thing to do. And I got most of my rebounds before he took the shot.
Knowledge is the edge. At Invesco Funds, it's the approach we use to make money for investors. You should know what Invesco knows.
Creighton University doing a nice job spreading out the Iowa defense. Look here, there's nobody below this line, and so that enables Sears to come off this screen and score the easy basket because they've taken the help completely out of the picture. That is nice offensive execution by Creighton. And now they drop back into a little bit of a matchup zone.
Look at the team assists. 10, the ball really moving around well. Now Worley looks inside, Evans turns and draws a foul.
Coming out of that timeout, Creighton lined up in what was supposed to look like a 2-3 zone, but they were really in man-to-man. They're trying to confuse the issue there for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Korver called for his first. Evans receives in the corner. And Oliver backs it up and starts the offense.
When Sears found himself inside, matched up against Evans first, and then Worley. He was desperately trying to get somebody to switch with him, so they got that straightened out.
Worley, power move. Korver with the rebound, tapped out of bounds. Creighton will inbound it. 6-point lead for the Creighton Blue Jays, 24-7. Finished 14-4 in the Missouri Valley Conference. Won the regular season, but did not win the conference tournament. That went to Indiana State. Now Korver, short.
Gus, and he comes in as a 47% three-point shooter, and he's only 1 for 6 today.
And a foul inside. It's Huss pushing Evans.
Gus, we've played 3.5 minutes of this second half, and Iowa has yet to get on the board.
And they're only down by 6.
It's a very interesting game in that Creighton really has controlled the tempo, and they've shut Iowa off inside, but yet Iowa right in the game, as you mentioned, only trailing by 6.
Pyfrom in the game, as well as Klein.
When Evans matched up against Walker down inside.
Now Oliver. Lindemann with the rebound.
And that was a missed opportunity right there. Reggie Evans was matched up against Walker inside.
Sears takes it the entire way and draws the foul.
You heard Dana Altman say that he wanted his team to get out and run in the second half. And they've done a nice job running the floor, creating some situations. See, Iowa's got all 5 guys back, but they're just getting turned around. Evans turns around right at the last minute. And so Sears draws the foul.
Evans picks up his second. Now Walker squaring up on Henderson. Wants to take him off the dribble, does. Too strong. Pyfrom rebound and put back.
Iowa's the team with the reputation as offensive rebounders, but that's a couple of times now that Pyfrom has done a nice job.
Fans wanted to travel on Henderson.
Well, so did Dana Altman. He really had a hard time controlling himself over there.
40-32, Creighton inside. Evans finally gets a chance and a good look, but can't convert.
Once again, good help down on the side, forced Evans to rush that one just a little.
Could Iowa be the 3rd Big Ten team knocked off on the first day? There's some trouble now, down by 8. Wisconsin, Ohio State already falling. 13 to shoot. Klein. Skip pass to Walker. And a whistle, blocking foul called on Henderson.
Walker has been a difficult matchup for the Iowa Hawkeyes simply because if you guard him with a small guy, he takes you inside. You guard him with a big guy, he does things like that.
Creighton on a 10-0 run, up by 8.
Today, it's a pile of rocks, but it's really
Sweetie, why don't you go get a drink?
Good idea.
All-imported hops give Michelob Light a smooth, satisfying taste you won't find in an ordinary beer.
It's so organic.
It makes me feel so insignificant.
Tell me about Man with Michelob Light.
Beer or Michelob Light?
Oh, there you are.
Ma'am, please don't touch the art.
Attention Survivor fans. Wednesday, if you missed any of America's most watched show, here's your chance to catch up.
It's every man for himself.
Survivor on a special night, CBS Wednesday.
Iowa led this game 32-30 at halftime, but Creighton has gone on a 10-0 run. And the Blue Jays lead 40-32 with 15:08 to go in the second half.
Gus, it has been a game where Creighton, with their pressing defense, has controlled the tempo of the game. Iowa struggling to score inside, but Creighton is the team that's been getting it done in there.
Largest lead of the game for the Creighton Blue Jays, up by 10. Oliver driving, trying to find a seam, loose ball. Bodies all over the floor, and they'll jump it up, possession arrow in the favor.
Creighton has done a nice job attacking. 2 guys try to go with Sears. You got to worry about Sears' ability to shoot the 3, and Pyfrom just goes to the basket. The old screen and roll, and then they're battling for the ball down inside. Gee. Iowa bench is claiming that I think it was Corver down there who had the ball, that he was out of bounds when he was touching the ball.
Now, when you look at this Creighton program, they have a lot of NCAA experience. This is their 3rd consecutive trip as the officials meet. Back in 1999, as a number 10 seed, they beat Louisville 62-58. That was Rodney Buford's season. So then they ended up losing to Maryland in the next round. Another look at the scramble.
And one of the things that Steve Alford is saying is that the ball was out of bounds, and it wasn't. The Creighton players were out of bounds and they were touching the ball, but they still ruled the held ball, so the possession arrow changes.
Iowa 0 for 5 in the second half. 3 turnovers. Now Henderson gets it. Duez Henderson.
He hit a 3 in the second half, and that is the first field goal. In the first half he hit a 3. That's the first field goal in the second half for Iowa. They're really struggling to find some offense.
So far, Reggie Evans, a non-factor. And Walker Corver dials it up and rips it. Plus a foul inside.
So Corver hits the three, and it's very interesting. Corver has not been a factor from beyond the three-point arc, but again, everybody steps away from it, and he buries it, and the foul called on the inside. Corver wants the basket, but that foul was called inside against Thompson, Rod Thompson from Iowa. And so now Creighton not only gets the three, but they'll keep the ball.
And that was his 100th three-point field goal.
And he's only the second player in the history of the Missouri Valley Conference to have 100 field goals in a season. Number 25, Thompson, you can see he's got his arms wrapped all the way around Pyfrom. That's hard to miss, and the officials didn't miss it.
Walker across the lane, dumps it down, stolen by Boyd. As he maneuvers himself up the floor, Henderson. 13:46 to go, second half of play. Creighton shocking Iowa right now on top 45-37.
And Iowa getting its points, particularly in the second half, from odd sort of places. Henderson now has 2 threes in the game. He came in with only 8 on the season.
Walker to Corver again. And the rebound goes to Worley. Now Oliver spinning. The runner can't stay down. Pyfrom with the rebound.
Oliver, I think, trying to do a little too much by himself. Pyfrom now has 5 rebounds in the game, and Creighton rotates those 3 guys in the post. Pyfrom is part of that 3-headed monster in there, and the post players have really given Dana Altman's team a lift today.
Corver popping out on the wing. Knocked away. Worley saves it right into the hands of Corver.
Corver throws it away again.
Here come the Hawkeyes with numbers. Oliver down the lane, counted, and the foul.
Creighton is a team that likes to create the turnovers, but they just turned it over twice in a row, and Oliver just takes it all the way to the basket. Gus, it looks like he's decided that it's time to put this team on his shoulders and carry him.
12 points for Oliver. And the game summary. Jays 5 of 15 from downtown. Both teams have been good with the basketball, not turning it over.
Of course, the purpose of pressure and the kind of pressure that Creighton exerts is not necessarily just to turn you over, but to get your offense going a little bit faster than you want to play, and they've certainly forced Iowa to do that today.
.45-40, Creighton. The Iowa fans rise to their feet here at the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. Taylor across the lane, the runner, rims out. Henderson with the rebound, kicks it out to Oliver. On the move to the bucket, hanging in the air. Rebound inside and a foul. I tell you what, the senior is really starting to play some serious ball.
Didn't we just see this? Oliver just takes the ball, takes it the length of the court, drives all the way to the basket. He's looking for the foul there, but then he goes after the rebound and draws the foul. Lindemann picks up the foul. The offensive rebounder on this team is supposed to be Reggie Evans, but Evans has struggled today, so Oliver's taken over. Oliver claiming he was shooting the ball.
Anyway, they get it back.
Oliver's a little greedy, Gus. I think he wanted points on the board.
Partially blocked by Huss. Here's Smith. Steps back. Now Worley. Drop step to the hole. Count it. And the foul.
With Reggie Evans on the bench, Creighton doesn't seem to be doing as good a job cutting off the inside. If that's a pass inside to Evans, then he's double teamed immediately. You see Sears trying to come down and double team Worley. He doesn't get there in time, and Worley is a very effective inside player.
Bad news for Creighton as Huss picks up his 4th. Iowa on an 8-0 run.
I got 22.
Make it 9. 45-43. 12 minutes to go in the second half. Creighton leads Iowa. Sears along with Grimes. Grimes spinning. Block. Save by Oliver. Brody Boyd now moving up the floor. He's fouled up top.
And Iowa has just really turned up the aggressiveness. Dean Oliver set the tone. They're really attacking Creighton now.
11:38 to go, second half of play. 2-point game.
Who's the perfect host for your e-business applications? Someone who helps you stay cool, calm, and collected. Even when a few million guests decide to drop in. Someone from Generation D. Web hosting from WorldCom, Generation D.
Miss my boy.
In the city's most corrupt precinct, how long you survive depends on who you can trust.
I need backup. I promised I would always be my brother's keeper. I keep my promises.
No sunshine in this home. Only darkness every day. Exit Wounds, rated R. Starts tomorrow at a theater near you.
There's a new 270 horsepower beast on the road that's more powerful than Jeep Grand Cherokee or any SUV in its class. Introducing the powerful and luxurious Bravada by Oldsmobile. Now get a 5-year, 60,000-mile GM protection plan on the 2002 Bravada and every new Oldsmobile. Oldsmobile, backed by GM.
See why Raymond is TV Guide's comedy series of the year.
I have never been more attracted to you in my entire life.
An all-new Raymond, CBS Monday.
A look at the East Region. First round action, Kentucky advancing, defeating Holy Cross, and Tayshaun Prince was the star. With the game tied at 58, after a timeout, he just went to work. He hit 2 threes, and that was the one that really won it for him as Stubby Smith's team advances to the field of 32. Sound-a-Lighter drives the baseline. 15 to shoot. Boyd, the runner. And a whistle and foul. Worley over the back. And right now, Dan, Creighton's having a hard time dealing with prosperity. They led by 8 in the first half. Ended up trailing by 2 at halftime. They've led by as many as 11 here in the second half. And now the lead cut to 2.
Gus, I think the fact is not that they have started doing things poorly. It's just that Iowa really turns on the Jets every now and again. And Iowa really the aggressor right at the moment, led by Dean Oliver. They really started attacking, particularly on the offensive end.
Second foul on Worley. Make it third foul on Worley. Inside, Ben Walker.
Now that's a guy who's 6'2", who's doing that spin move against a 6'8" guy on the inside.
Maryland trailing George Mason. George Mason in Fairfax, Maryland in College Park. Now Oliver hangs in the air. 14 points for Dean Oliver.
And more than his 14 points, his leadership in the second half, I think, has really been the key for the Iowa comeback that has them within 2 right at the moment.
Sears kicks it out. Taylor squares up. Rebound Piper, who's tied up. Creighton will hold on.
We talked about Dean Oliver and his ability to penetrate and how important that was. Here he beats the pressure and just takes it all the way to the basket. Pyfrom isn't able to get up and block the shot because he elects to go for the charge, but Oliver's really done a nice job being aggressive and getting Iowa in a position where they can get some things done on the offensive end. Man-to-man for the Hawkeyes.
Taylor takes the three off the back rim, out of bounds. And Reggie Evans back into the game. He averages 12 rebounds per game to go along with 14 points, but he is held to 3 and 3 right now. Korver.
When Korver just can't. He's got 2 3-point baskets in the game, but he just cannot get those open looks to go down, and he's a little frustrated with himself. Walker picks up that foul.
Wednesday on CBS, Newsday calls Big Apple the season's best new drama. Find out for yourself what all the talk is about. Ed O'Neill stars in an all-new Big Apple on a special night Wednesday after Survivor. So Duez Henderson steps to the free throw line. From McKenzie High School in Detroit, Michigan. First one is good. In Iowa, they go to the line, courtesy of Reggie Evans, 1,004 times.
And that's typical. They're to the line 14 times a day. This would be attempt number 15.
Anderson gets it to fall. Ties it at 47 apiece.
And that's obviously a big factor in the game. Iowa on the attack, getting to the free throw line with much greater frequency than the Blue Jays of Creighton.
Now Walker with the step on the move. Henderson had the ball, can't hold on. It's knocked out of bounds by Korver.
Gus, this Henderson kid has had a big second half. He's got 7 points now in the second half. That was an outstanding defensive play. Walker trying to take him hard to the basket. And Henderson coming up with the block and then coming up with the rebound.
14 points for Duez Henderson.
Half-court trap. But Iowa solves it.
Hawkeyes go inside. Worley blocked by Pyfrom. Picked up by Ben Walker. Sears and Walker bring it up the floor. Walker stops, loses it, out of bounds. And what a weird play. The ball just slipped right out of his hands.
He goes up for the shot, Gus, you're right. And he loses it. Now, he doesn't go after it very quickly. I think he's afraid that if he touches it, it's a double dribble, but you can always recover a muff like that. Boy.
Got to put a handle on that ball. 9:08 to play in the second half, tied at 47. Anderson drives baseline. He's bumped. Korver will pick up the foul. His second. And we have plenty more action coming up for you tonight. CBS celebrating its 20th consecutive season covering the NCAA tournament. Arkansas and Georgetown, 2 former national champs going at it. Indiana, Mike Davis will try to keep that Indiana Hoosier season going. As Henderson misses the free throw. 47 apiece.
Creighton hadn't been able to get any easy baskets recently, Gus. In that 10-0 run at the start of the second half, they got a couple of layups and dunks, and Iowa's really cut that off. And that is the big reason why Creighton has struggled offensively.
Pyfrom looks weak side. Great ball movement. Korver spots up. And he continues to struggle.
Wide open threes. Now 3 of 10 from out there. This is a 47% shooter.
Oliver the other way, out of control. Now Sears. Bounce pass inside. Great look to Pyfrom. That's a veteran move for Ryan Sears.
Well, that is a great play by Sears, and you've got to get a lot of credit to Reggie Evans. Boy, did he get down the floor. But Sears looks like he's lining it up for a 3, draws the defense to him. Evans just keeps coming, though. He sees the bounce pass and follows it, picks up the foul, lands on top of Brody. Boy, that could not have felt very good.
So Lyman Python, we told you his story about coming from the Bahamas and only playing 5 years of organized basketball. This is his 5th year. He's got a little brother, though, that's playing at Marshall Community College in Iowa. That is a big-time recruit. On the same size. Python, 6'11". Second free throw good. Here comes a substitute. Grimes into the game. Python has 10 points, 6 in the second half of play. Also 6 rebounds.
Is that little half-court trap by Creighton?
Jason Smith, along with Oliver, Henderson, Worley, and Evans. Here's Evans.
Gustin, it's the aggressiveness of Dean Oliver that has really got Iowa back in the game. Now, he missed this shot, but this is outstanding. Spin move to the basket. I think he was looking for the foul, and he didn't get it. But Dean Oliver has just been outstanding, particularly in the second half, really setting the tone for Iowa on the attack.
Reggie Evans gets the first to go, and in a game like this, when you can't get any touches, you got 3 players on you at all times. What does Steve Alford have to do to get Reggie Evans more involved on the offensive end?
I think one of the things they've got to do, Gus, is just keep moving the ball, and Evans just has to keep fighting in there and take advantage of the opportunities that he gets.
Gets the second, 7:54 to go. Game tied at 49.
A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS Sports.
She just doesn't understand me.
What's to understand? I mean, what is that, Michael?
Is that what you think I sound like?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle, do you use a cellular phone? What's come between you two is static. Here, Sprint PCS built the only all-digital, all-PCS nationwide network, so your calls are clear.
Thank you.
Sprint PCS, 1,200 minutes, all with nationwide long distance.
Too many calories. Too diety. Oh, this one's just right.
Somebody's been drinking my Coke.
Well, somebody's been drinking my Diet Coke.
Somebody finished my Pepsi One. And that somebody's still in my hot tub.
Anybody got a towel?
Pepsi One, the 1-calorie cola that tastes just right.
It's time for Suzuki Fest 2001, Suzuki's main sales event. This Suzuki Fest is the biggest ever, with over 20 different motorcycles and ATVs to choose from. Right now, you can get up to $400 in your choice of free accessories. Choose from helmets, jackets, winches, backpacks, anything you want when you buy a select Suzuki motorcycle or ATV. Plus, get great financing too. Go to your participating Suzuki dealer by April 30th and come out riding.
It's drive time. Get to Goodyear, where right now you'll get a $50 fast credit when you buy 4 selected tires on your Goodyear card account. That's $50 coming your way. For complete details from the retailer nearest you, call 1-800-GOODYEAR.
Why should you consider getting an education in the Navy? This is one of your classrooms. Navy, accelerate your life.
You can access live stats from every tournament game through the interactive telecast available on Ultimate TV. Tight game, folks. They are really going at it, the Blue Jays and the Hawkeyes on the court. The mascots doing battle as well.
And that's what Reggie Evans thinks has been going on all day.
He's drawing a crowd down there. Corver along with Sears, Lindemann, Ben Walker, and Huss for Creighton.
Iowa back in the zone.
Corver knocked away, stolen, but Ben Walker gets it back. Henderson reaches in and dives. He's out of bounds.
And this is coming right at our table, Gus. It's a good thing he was on the ground or we'd have had to duck. But
I got a little nervous.
Korver loses the ball once again, and Henderson tries to call timeout, but he's out of bounds. Now, interestingly enough, the officials are talking about whether the shot clock should reset or not, and they have decided that it should not because Iowa never really had possession of the ball.
8 to shoot. Sears looks inside, whizzes it out of bounds. So Iowa can take the lead right here. Run the weave up top.
Well, it's basically a 4-out, 1 in, and Evans is the 1 in, and they want him isolated down on the inside. But a triple team again, he passes it back out.
Evans doubled. Henderson's got a look. And Henderson unable to draw iron.
Henderson's hit a couple threes today, but that's a situation where you'd rather have Oliver out there on the same side of the court as Evans. So when Evans kicks it out, there's the possibility with this lineup in the game that you've got a person who's a legitimate threat from the three-point range. Iowa in the man-to-man now.
10 to shoot. Korver continues to fire. And over the back foul called on Huss, and he immediately goes to the bench.
Well, he knows that's number 5. And more importantly, I think, it sends Evans down to the free throw line.
That's his 5th personal foul.
So Huss leaves with 6 points, 1 rebound. Pyfrom replaces him.
Number 32,
down the stretch, 6:21 to go. 49 apiece, and Evans is at the free throw line.
Get the idea that down the stretch, the team that's going to win this game is the team that's able to get to their strength and have the guys who constitute that strength deliver. Evans is one of the guys for the University of Iowa. They like to get the ball inside to him and have him score. He makes that free throw. And for Creighton, you get the idea that Korver is going to have to make a couple of threes if they're going to win the game.
Reggie Evans was discovered playing in a tournament, a junior college tournament. And when the Iowa coaches saw him, they said, hey, this is the second coming of Buck Williams. As a matter of fact, Evans almost went to Maryland. 51-49. Iowa reclaiming the lead. Walker creating. Loose ball picked up by Oliver. To Evans, who travels. Shuffled his feet.
And that's a tough break for Iowa, but it's a tough pass to throw Reggie Evans. He's not used to catching the ball out there on the wing in transition. I would like to get him down inside.
5:50 to go. Second half of play. Korver again, the rainbow three, and Galloway with the weak side rebound.
That's a great job by Jason Smith to run at Korver. Korver just not very confident in that shot right now. 3 of 12 from beyond the arc.
Oliver, 15-footer, a brick, rebounded by Walker. His 7th. Now Sears. And taken away by Walker. Korver again. Still can't get it to fall with the rebound and the foul.
Korver has really struggled from three-point range, but one of the reasons is that he's not getting that many open looks. As Iowa moves the ball, this is a perfect pass, but Smith, number 43, does a great job running at him, trying to disrupt him. Now the last attempt, Korver misses, and he's going back to the basket. That actually was an open one, but you just get the idea that his confidence isn't there right at the moment.
And Korver comes from a family that can really put the ball in the hole. His mom once scored 70 points in a high school game. She played 6 six-man basketball.
6 on 6. Actually, she scored 73. Corver misses that one. She had 2 other games where she was in the 60s. Corver said she still beats him at horse.
Right now, Corver wishes that he had his mom's shot. It has left him today. 51-49, Iowa.
Wait, Evans just battling down on the inside.
Bounce pass to Worley. Knocked away by Sears, but his foot was on the baseline, out of bounds.
That's good patience by Evans. He knows the double team is coming, but he turns so he can be facing the court. You don't want to be double teamed down there with your back to the court.
And could you imagine what this Iowa team would be like with Luke Recker and Ryan Hogan, along with Reggie Evans?
Keep in mind, when they had those guys, they were in first place in the Big Ten at 6-2.
Nice steal. Evans goes up strong and one.
You don't always have to find Reggie Evans with his back to the basket. Dean Oliver with the penetration. The defense comes. Pyfrom goes to block the shot, and that leaves Evans open, and he just attacks the basket. And that's what Reggie Evans can do. He makes that catch, goes to the basket, draws the foul.
And Dean Oliver almost broke Terrell Taylor's ankle with that crossover dribble.
We talked about Oliver and his penetration being important. Well, his aggressiveness and his penetration really have turned things around for Iowa in the second half.
Evans gets the free throw. 54-49.
And Iowa not giving up any easy baskets to Creighton.
Iowa on a 7-0 run. Timeout, Blue Jays.
It is more than a trial by fire. It is a rite of passage. And if you can master your fear, outsmart your enemy, and never yield even to yourself, you will be changed forever. The few, the proud, the Marines.
54-49, Iowa on top of Creighton. Creighton has led by as many as 11 points here in the second half of play, but Reggie Evans getting more involved. Oliver leading the way. Henderson's hit some big baskets, and now they have a 5-point lead. A 7-0 run over the last 3:51.
Gustin, you were just talking about the importance of Luke Recker. You can see it right there. Close games. Much better with Recker than without him. It's interesting, they won that Big Ten championship. 2-point win over Indiana, but on the average, they won 4 games by a total of, on an average of 12 points a game. So that Big Ten championship game, the only time they were really pushed.
Taylor steps back, takes a 3. Short. Ball batted out. Bodies on the floor. Iowa will hold on. And Ben Walker's on the bench. His hand is bleeding. But right now, both teams going all out.
Yeah, hang on. You guys got any imported beer?
I got a beer you're really gonna like. It's made with the finest European hops. And if you ask me, it's one of the smoothest beers around.
I'll be the judge of that. Good looking beer?
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's how a beer's supposed to taste. I don't know how these guys drink that domestic stuff. All right, listen.
Beer or Michelob Light?
Hey!
Sorry. It's just too fun to drive. The all-new Civic Coupe from Honda. Amazing, but true.
Obviously, this is top secret, or we wouldn't be here. Till next week, this meeting never happened.
This is go, no-go, folks.
Our product line's mesh, go.
Our growth, your cash flow,
go.
Finance is in.
The street will love it.
The press will eat it up.
No SEC issues.
If we do this deal, we'll have 8 server farms, 10 extranets, and 10 different platforms, plus the wireless project.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
And that's when it hits you.
You are so ready for IBM.
Birds do it. Bees do it. Guys with SUVs do it. It's that time of year at Pep Boys. Get free installation of Gabriel Pro Rider Premium Shocks. Fall in love with your car again at Pep Boys.
At Enterprise Rent-A-Car, when you call us, we don't just pick up the phone. We pick you up.
This is great.
Thank you.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Monday, a loaded gun. He killed his brother. And a terrible secret.
It wasn't an accident.
Dana Delaney on Family Law, CBS Monday.
Ben Walker still on the Creighton bench. His fingers were bleeding. I don't know if he was cut or if he was cut on his side as well. He has some blood on the basketball shorts. But he's trying to get back into the game as quickly as possible with 3:43 to go here in the second half of play. Iowa up by 5. Oliver with the step on the baseline. Loose ball knocked out of bounds. And the Hawkeyes hold on.
Oliver once again creating the penetration. Boy, if you're an official, how in the heck can you see who that ball went off of? You just guess, I suppose.
And they're right 98% of the time. Now Jason Smith.
It's been 5 minutes since Creighton has scored.
Backdoor Smith, bounce pass Evans, gathers himself, fends off the defender, and banks it home.
And that has been a big part of the Iowa offense here in this stretch. They've been able to find Evans inside.
Sears, the pipe from.
Once again, the penetration draws the defense, and Evans this time catches the ball, the good head fake, and then a very nice job with the pivot, getting the ball to go in the basket. Of course, uses that big arm to ward pipe from away.
That's called a meat hook. Pyfrom gets the first to go. CBS Sports Line stat of the game. Let's take a look. Free throw shooting. Creighton going to the line only 7 times. Iowa 17 of 21. For complete tournament coverage, go to cbs.sportsline.com.
And the reason you have numbers like that, Gus, Iowa has really been trying hard to attack inside, and Creighton has basically been out on the perimeter. Missed a lot of three-point shots. You don't draw a lot of fouls when you're shooting threes.
Meanwhile, let's get an update on Ben Walker from Dwayne Ballin.
Gus, Ben Walker dislocated, he thinks, a finger on his right hand. It opened up, there was bleeding, so his fingers were taped, and he's back in the game, obviously, and he's feeling okay right now, other than that.
Wow. Well, that is a football player's mentality. Dislocated fingers, tape him up, and get him back out there.
And they really need his intensity in there.
Only a 6-point game. Sears takes a 3, and air ball. Taylor swoops in and gets the rebound.
Sears was looking for the foul on that play. Gus sort of kicked his feet out and was falling down shooting the 3.
Backdoor block. Out of bounds.
And we got a foul called.
Both teams over the limit.
Creighton was able to get some inside baskets early. That wasn't a block. That just slipped out of Sears' hands. And earlier in the game, Gus, we saw Walker lose one going up to shoot the ball. It just flew out the back. And he lost it out of bounds. So Creighton having a tough time hanging onto the ball.
And a lot of times, those brand new basketballs can be really slick because they haven't been worn. No tack on them at all.
Hadn't bothered Iowa, though. And now you're getting that Iowa inside strength. There you get a good look at the basketball. But Evans is in double figures. Henderson's in double figures. Worley's in double figures. Steve Alford said going into halftime they wanted to attack inside, and they've done that very successfully in the second half.
11-1 run for the Hawkeyes as we approach the 2-minute mark of the second half. The bracket here in the East, first and second round action. In Long Island, New York, Kentucky advances, defeating Holy Cross. Station Prince with 27. They'll take on the winner of this one. Later on, BC and Southern Utah. And USC and Oklahoma State in the nightcap. Korver.
Gus, keep in mind that even though Creighton has not shot the ball particularly well from the three-point line today, they are a team that is capable of shooting the three, so they are not out of this one by any means.
Creighton 5 of 26 from the three-point line this afternoon. 58-52. They're only down by 6. Here's a full court press.
And now they're looking for some turnovers.
Oliver quickly. Korver gets a hand on it. Now Worley backs it up and a whistle. Klein just dropping Reggie Evans.
Well, I think that Evans, you'd have to hit Evans harder than that to drop him down, but there is an awful lot of pushing going on in there. Evans 6'8", 250 pounds, and Klein, well, Klein did push him, but I think Evans allowed himself to go down.
And an update on Brody Boyd. He has the bruised knee, the Iowa guard. He went into the locker room, got x-rays. He has an ice bag on the knee right now and is on the bench. He could return. As Reggie Evans gets the first free throw to go, 7 of 8 this afternoon. There's Brody, the freshman who's done a terrific job in place of Ryan Hogan and Luke Recker. Second one good as well. 60-52, Iowa.
Evans doing a great job from the free throw line.
Walker drives baseline, spins, too far under the basket. And Evans is quickly fouled.
Walker trying very hard to create something on the inside. Iowa out defending the three-point line, so he's trying to get the old-fashioned three-point play, and just a very nice defensive effort by Henderson. Henderson gets down to the baseline, cuts him off, and the spin move is too far under the basket, and you have to really credit the defense of Henderson right there, and some concern on the Creighton bench now.
So Reggie Evans, 8 of 9 from the line, leads the nation in rebounding. In free throws attempted and in double doubles. Working on a double double right now. 14 points. Well, he's got a long way to go, only 5 rebounds. Second one good. 10-point lead for the Hawkeyes. Largest lead of the game. Sears forces one up. Korver draws the foul on Worley.
At this point in the game, if you're the Iowa Hawkeyes, you don't want to give up uncontested baskets, but you don't want to be fouling people either.
Greg Humble in New York will keep you tracking on what's going on between Creighton and Iowa, but they're under a half minute to play in San Diego. Let's join Dick Enberg and Bill Walton.
Here, just under 30 seconds in San Diego, and St. Joseph's of Pennsylvania with a 63-60 lead. Georgia Tech has had 3 opportunities to tie here in the final minute and a half and have been denied. And now the foul sends freshman Jameer Nelson of the Hawks of St. Joseph to the line with 29.7 seconds remaining. The winner to meet Stanford, the UNC Greensboro game. That winner in the next round. Freshman Jameer Nelson hits 2 free throws. St. Joseph's takes a 65-60 lead with 29.7 seconds to go in San Diego.
It's been 2 games in 1. St. Joe's dominating the first half and led 41-24 at the intermission. Georgia Tech taking a strong run at the leaders. The Hawks came close so many times, but now trail by 5 with 29 seconds to go.
Now it's Tony Aiken's time with the ball. This has been their best player. St. Joe should take the ball out of his hands with a good double team, but they can't do it.
Aikens gets his own rebound. Hit the underside of the rim. LaBerry follows. It's 65-62. Timeout Georgia Tech with 15 seconds to go.
She just doesn't understand me.
What's to understand? I mean, what is that, Michael?
Is that what you think I sound like?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle, do you use a cellular phone? What's come between you two is static. Here, Sprint PCS built the only all-digital, all-PCS nationwide network, so your calls are clear.
Thank you.
Sprint PCS, 1,200 minutes, all with nationwide long distance.
First year at Georgia Tech, and a great job by Paul Hewitt. This Georgia Tech team not figuring to be a contender in the tough ACC, but he gets them into the tournament. His team now within 3, 15 seconds showing.
3-point shooting today. 3 for 17, Georgia Tech. They got a foul right away, Georgia Tech does, but the ball's in Nelson's hand.
And he's their best free throw shooter.
Well, Jameer Nelson, the best freshman in St. Joe's history. They call him the Kid. He has started since he set foot on the campus there at St. Joe's, which is at 54th and City Line Avenue, right across the street from Lower Marion Township High School, where Kobe Bryant went to high school. But the thing about Jameer Nelson,
that makes it a 2 possession game, Bill. 66-62.
The leadership that he shows, the competitive greatness, very mature for just 19 years of age. Phil Martelli telling us before the game that he's 19-year-old body and a 75-year-old brain. Misses the second one.
Oh, 66-62, under 10 seconds. Aikens from way outside, fine to follow, he misses, batted back out to Aikens, and the game is over. St. Joseph's and Phil Martelli advance to the second round. They beat Georgia Tech 66-62.
So the Hawks of St. Joseph's a winner. We're going to send you back to Uniondale, New York, Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, Iowa with a 65-56 lead under a minute to play. Let's rejoin Gus Johnson and Dan Bonner.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, 52.3 to play. Iowa with a 9-point lead over Creighton. Dana Altman's team led by 11 here in the second half of play. Led by, in the first half, 8 points. The Iowa defense got serious. They also started hitting shots. You know, back in 1987, Steve Alford was a player. And his team took on Syracuse in the national championship. That was the Keith Smart shot in the same corner that Michael Jordan hit his shot to beat Georgetown. Steve Alford was named to the all-tournament team and set an NCAA Final Four record with 7 3-point field goals. Looks almost exactly the same. And talking to Luke Recker yesterday, he told me that Alford is still the best shooter on the Iowa team. And it's not even close.
Now that is always a good thing to say if you're a player. You say your coach is the best shooter.
Well, I don't even think that's a fabrication. Steve Alford could really stroke it in college. Recker told me he still can. And both players, Indiana Mr. Basketballs. Recker transferred from Indiana. So I imagine they sit around and swap stories about good old IU. 67-56.
Well, not now. You heard Steve Alford tell everybody he doesn't want to talk about Indiana.
That's true. And Reggie Evans with another rebound. His 7th.
Interestingly enough, Gus, Reggie Evans is going back to the free throw line where he is 11 of 13 today. Creighton is 9 for 12 from the line. So Evans has been to the line more than the entire Creighton team. And this is the kind of effort that gets him to the free throw line. When that big guy gets the ball, you're not taking it away from him.
Reggie Evans from Pensacola, Florida. What a find.
Gus, and it looks like a marvelous 4-year run for these Creighton seniors is about to end. And Walker and Sears in particular, they've played, this is their 124th game together. Sears has started all 124 games of his career. And these guys have done a great job helping get the Creighton Blue Jays to the NCAA tournament 3 years in a row now. Tough time today, particularly after that they jumped out to that lead in the second half. Just not able to hold on, but doesn't diminish the kind of season they've had, the kind of careers they've had.
18 seconds to play, and the Iowa Hawkeyes will advance. Steve Alford ready to make the walk and shake hands with Dana Altman. They do. 5 seconds to go as Oliver dribbles out the time. And Iowa comes back, defeats Creighton 69-56. And it will be Kentucky and Iowa in the next round. A look at the bracket here in the East. Iowa and Kentucky, a 2 versus a 7 in the second round. And the Chevrolet most valuable players, Ben Walker, 11 points. Dean Oliver, 15 and 6. Now let's go to Greg Gumbel standing by in New York.
All right, Gus, so the Iowa Hawkeyes salvaged something for the Big Ten today. After 2 Big Ten teams have lost, Iowa pulls off a 69-56 win over Creighton in Greensboro. Hofstra and UCLA 2:05 and counting to play. Let's send you there and join Kevin Harlan and John Sunbolt.
4th seed UCLA trailed a good portion of this game to 13th seeded Hofstra. 7 threes in the first half by the Pride. Put them on top. But UCLA has been far more aggressive with defense. They've hit their shots as they lead at 55-48.
Now again, Bruins more patient on the offensive end. It's been the Earl Watson show all afternoon long.
Watson with 15 outside to pull up for 3. Gansuric climbs inside and puts it down. Oh, what a play by Dan Gansuric. The rebound and then the 2, and that makes it a 20-5 UCLA run.
Well, Gansuric over the top, and the finish, emotion from this Bruins squad.
UCLA has grabbed this game by the throat and squeezed.
What will communications be when it finally grows up? Satellite? Broadband? Wireless? Fiber optic? With technologies from Agilent, communications can grow up to be whatever it wants to be. Let's see what this baby can do.
Chevy is now accepting torchbearer nominations for the Salt Lake 2002 Olympic Torch Relay. To nominate someone who inspires you, get a form from your local Chevy dealer or go to Chevy.com. Chevy, on the road to Salt Lake City. We'll be there.
UCLA with their biggest lead today, 57-48. Kevin Harlan, John Sunbolt, and Charles Davis are in Greensboro, North Carolina. 3-point shooting for Hofstra. It's been good. But UCLA, what you don't see there is the defense that they have exhibited in the second half with some nice halftime adjustments from Coach Steve Lavin.
Well, points in the paint, 36-9. Defensively, UCLA really shut off the interior. Hofstra had to shoot jump shots second half, as you mentioned. Steve Lavin, the adjustments, more aggressive in their half-court sets. Hofstra, when they back it out and run the shot clock down, UCLA really attack. They trap, forced Hofstra into making a play with 2 or 3 seconds left on the shot clock.
Here's Gadzuric. Threw up an air ball.
They turned the fans on down there. Should not happen, huh?
1:30 to play in the second half, but he's been playing hard. Gadzuric has had a solid game with 14 points and 12 rebounds. Full court pressure again. The energy of UCLA has been the second half difference. It has forced everything about Hofstra to go off kilter. Full court press has affected them. Half court offense has been met at every turn with the closed door, and Jay Wright, who saw so many openings for his pride in the first half, has seen no openings in the second. Foul is called on Knight, picks up his third for UCLA.
Well, now you have to be in a hurry if you're Hofstra. 1:15 left. There's one of the first open looks they've had in the second half. A good look.
Richardson with the miss, and he got a good screen to set that up. Here comes Apodaca. Back to Richardson for 3, missing everything there and caught by Barnes.
Well, now it's keep away time. This Bruin ball club, good comeback. Looked like they were on the ropes.
They're down by 6. They lead now 57-48. And CBS Sportsline stat of the game, points in the paint. Complete domination by the Bruins, and for complete tournament coverage, cbs.sportsline.com.
Yeah, Dan Gadzuric, 14 points, 12 rebounds. Earl Watson, terrific from the start. 15 points, 7 assists. Jason Capono has been quiet this afternoon.
6 points.
They can advance and get his game back on where they need it.
Picked up by Capono. Firing a 3 off balance. The shooting percentage now of Hofstra has dipped to 36%. They were at one time 7 of 14 shooting threes. They're 3 of 10 shooting threes in this second half. Hofstra has gone 1 of their last 13 from the field. We're wondering if the long climb back and all that energy that UCLA was expending was going to make them tired down the stretch, but they have seemed to gain energy and gain momentum as the game has gone on, as they're putting away the 13th seeded Hofstra Pride.
With each steal or with each missed shot by this Pride ball club, UCLA seemed to have more energy. And Earl Watson, the senior, you know what, he just kind of took the teammates on his back for a while. He was the one that made sure everybody else, that they stayed close. That's how everybody else found their games.
Apodaca on the perimeter, feeding to Richardson, who works over Watson with a 3. Another miss. Rebound by Gadzuric, and UCLA will advance, as their second half was mighty impressive.
And after the start today in this tournament, survive and move on, huh?
Survive and move on. UCLA will play Utah State on Saturday here in Greensboro, and the Bruins win their 10th game in their last 12. A 20-3 run ends the game for Steve Lavin's UCLA Bruins. Hofstra did not score from the field over the last 9 minutes and 3 seconds. So we've had one upset here today, and that was 12th-seeded Utah State, who will now take on UCLA on Saturday. Tonight, top seed Duke against Monmouth, and a good 8-9 matchup, Georgia against Missouri. Players of the game: Jason Hernandez with 11 points and 6 assists. Earl Watson for UCLA, who began the game 6 of 6 from the field. Now for John Sunvold and Charles Davis, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Greensboro, as we send it to our CBS studios in New York. Clark Kellogg joined by Greg Gumbel.
All right.
right, Kevin, thank you. So the UCLA Bruins snap Hofstra's 18-game winning streak and bring their season to an end as well. In Boise, Idaho, 7 minutes to play. Maryland with a 1-point lead on George Mason. Let's take you to the VSU Pavilion. Craig Bolerjack and James Worthy.
7:09 left here in Boise. Maryland and George Mason. The Terrapins lead by 1. George Mason had a 3-point lead at the half, 36-33. It's been a game George Evans will remember. 24 points for the Patriots, while Byron Mouton has thrown down 20 for the Terrapins. Dixon, left hand, wouldn't go. Follow shot off the rim. Anderson rebounds. And here comes Herring across midcourt.
It's been a game of control. Who can control the tempo? In the first half, George Mason was able to do it with the inside play of Evans. In the second half, Maryland has been able to pick up the pace with their aggressive trapping defense, but still only a 1-point lead for the Terps.
George Mason, the 14th seed in the West against the 3rd seed Maryland Terrapins. Evans, 30 years of age, spent 7 years in the Army. A terrific player in the Colonial Athletic Association. Blake has it. Nice feed down low. Shot wouldn't go. The follow wouldn't go by Morris. And Young rebounds for George Mason. The Jesse Young, James, in my book today, he's got 11 points, but he's done a lot of dirty work.
He's done a lot of things that show up in the intangible category. I mean, he's shut Terrence Morris down. I mean, Terrence Morris hadn't been a factor. He's gotten some strong offensive boards, hit his free throws, and just been extremely active. And there he is again.
Well, the triple team on Evans and able to break down on the baseline was Young and a whistle.
And the take on Jesse Young is that he's been a little soft in physical games. Not today. He's been very active, very strong to the basket. You take a look at the game summary.
Well, that's even. I mean, that is even. 55% for George Mason from the floor. Maryland 54. Turnovers even.
Young knocks down the first one to tie it up.
Last foul was on Mouton, and that is his 4th.
Mouton picked up the foul. And that's going to be 4 on Byron Mouton. Has to take a seat with 20 points. Second shot off the mark. Holden has it for Maryland. Blake spots up. Too strong. Young, another board.
To me, you're right. Young has been the most valuable player for George Mason behind George Evans. I mean, he's been a guy that we didn't expect to have this kind of impact.
Three-pointer. Too strong. Evans. Kicks to Young. Back out to Evans. Larinaga. Good patience and a fresh 35 on the shot clock.
See, Evans got that rebound. He was 9 feet from the bucket, but he won't shoot a shot that's uncomfortable or out of his game.
Loose ball picked up by Maryland. Here comes Blake across midcourt. Three-pointer. Short. Price, the little guy for George Mason. 5'8". Like a bulldog running through there. 70-70. Under 5 minutes left to Herring. Puts it on the floor, backs in, loose ball. Save. Nope, stepped out of bounds.
Maryland might be one of the best teams at getting their hands on the ball while the shot's going up. They are reaching in on just about every single shot and pass.
Gary Williams wearing a groove on that sideline. 12th season in College Park. 11th ranked in both polls. And James, Maryland is one of 12 schools to be ranked in the top 25 from start to finish.
They had a little slide midseason, but I have to say, this is a team, the Maryland Terps, that can play with anybody in the country. Great player in Dixon. Morris, who hadn't been effective tonight. Wilcox big inside with Lonnie Baxter. They're big and they're small enough to mix it up with most teams.
Whistle inside, away from the ball. And that goes against Evans. And that's going to be 4 on George Evans.
Third personal team foul.
Check that 3.
On the Patriots.
24 points for Evans. A 3-time Colonial Athletic Association Player of the Year. 3 in a row. The only other player, David Robinson, did it in 85, 86, 87.
Shooting 1 ball.
A little surprised, but referee thinks otherwise.
Holden with his third point. You look at the brackets, Georgia State led by Lefty Drizel, already beating the 6th seed in the West, Wisconsin. And the winner of this game will get to play Georgia State on Saturday.
And the anticipation of Georgia State playing Lefty Drizel's former school, Maryland.
And don't forget, yeah, Lefty was in College Park for a long time, 1970 to 1986.
Like a blocking foul.
Holden, second personal.
But interestingly enough, Craig, you know, you may have some fans from Maryland who might forget that Lefty is not their coach anymore and may pull for Georgia State on a few occasions.
8th straight tournament appearance for Gary Williams and the Terrapins. And the first shot finds its way down for Herring. And coming up next, for those of you awaiting UNC Greensboro against the #1 seed Stanford Cardinal, we'll get you onto that game here momentarily. Both shots fall down. Herring with 13 and a timeout in Boise. 72-72, George Mason of Maryland.
Hey, how was your business trip to Chicago?
Good. How was your week off?
Great. My friends and I went to the beach.
Really?
Yeah, we rented from Hertz.com. Found their best rates, special offers, and terrific discounts because I'm a AAA member.
Maybe we should try it this weekend.
We.
Yo.
Thompson, Gilman here. You at the office?
How's the trip going, sir?
Fine. Did Mackenzie's email say $4 million? And when's the meeting?
Call you right back.
Introducing Nextel Office Email. Calendar, contact list, email, right on your phone.
Me again. 4 million and the meeting's at 10.
Excellent work. Why don't you go home early?
Nextel. More ways than anyone to communicate with everyone.
It was 1969. Peace, love, and music were in the air. And these guys?
Anyone see my slide rule?
Were nowhere near it.
Give it a whirl.
They were busy developing what would become the internet. As the internet evolved, so have we. BVN became GTE Internetworking, and today, we're Genuity, providing e-business solutions from the people who started it all. Genuity.
They say the powerful can get away with murder.
How did you get in here?
This case may prove them wrong.
Blood.
And never let her go. CBS Sunday, April 1st.
3:52 left here in Boise. 72 all between George Mason and Maryland. Double bonus situation for both teams. Timeouts, 2 apiece, and the possession arrow belongs to Maryland.
And you know, we mentioned at the beginning of the second half that Maryland's only come back from a deficit only once, and that was at Duke. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, if they're capable of playing in a close game like this.
It was very rare this season for Maryland to trail at the half. They did here in Boise, only the 5th time, as the whistle. Dixon after the shot.
And when you're a team that's, you know, not used to coming from behind, when you're used to being out with big leads, jumping out and putting up big spurts, it could be difficult when you get in a big game or close game coming from behind.
Dixon with the first was 17. And Wednesday here on CBS, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, Big Apple. One of the hottest shows around. That's right here on CBS. Dixon makes his second.
For the full-court pressure, but George Mason has handled the pressure well today.
5 ties. Look at that, James. 10 lead changes.
Yeah, they'll be looking for Herring or Evans. Herring's doing a good job running the baseline, coming off those picks from.
Herring drove baseline. Now they feed Evans. Put it on the floor and a whistle. Very quick. He puts that pivot foot and he'll just jump.
Well, the beauty of Evans' games is, you know, he'll go to every gear. One possession, he'll give you first and second gear, lure you to sleep. The second possession, you know, he'll go medium speed. And all of a sudden, he'll make a quick spin move as he did there. He caught the defense off guard.
Knocks down the free throw. 25 for George Evans. We talked so much about his military career, and you have to go back. You know, he played Army basketball, Aberdeen Army base in Maryland. His last year on the base, James, about 40 points, 18 rebounds.
I'll tell you what, he's also one of 4 players in NCAA history to record more than 200 steals, assists, and block shots for a career, joining former Kansas star Danny Manning, LaSalle standout Lionel Simmons, and the current Duke star Shane Battier. So he's
pretty good company.
Pretty good company and some pretty good stats.
From the corner, short. Over the back with no call. Blake reached over Price.
But I got to tell you, this game is, in my opinion, it's right for the taking for George Mason. You know, Maryland's expected to win. They're not up. George Mason is executing. Big shot by Herring.
2-pointer. 15 for Herring out of Chicago.
Now this is when the wrists get a little tight. You're the team that's supposed to be up and winning. Gary Williams taking a timeout. A lot of indecision and uncertainty on this Maryland ball club right now.
2 minutes left. Herring with a good look. Sinks it in Boise.
Express.
Welcome back into Boise. Maryland, one of the hotter teams coming down the stretch run of the season. They won at Wake Forest, knocked off North Carolina State, Oklahoma, at Duke, Virginia, Wake Forest, and then nearly got Duke again in the ACC semifinals, but lost by 2. And right now in trouble of maybe being knocked out of this tournament.
Well, you want to talk about incentive for George Mason. The big picture now, everyone anticipating the game between Georgia State and Maryland. They expected Georgia State to win, but George Mason says, look, we have something to say about that. Incentive. And so far, they've showed it here this afternoon.
Herring picks up the foul. That's going to be 3 on Herring, and Dixon at the free throw line.
Can never afford to look past any opponent. I don't care if you're 1 seed and 16 seed. You don't look past an opponent in the NCAA tournament because there's no tomorrow.
Maryland as a team, 19 of 20 from the free throw line, now 20 of 21, and a 20-point game for Dixon.
I'd look for Herring once again. Maryland 0-5 record in games decided by 3 points or less. So, you know, when you think of that stat, when you look at the way George Mason has handled the pressure and they're executing well, this game is right there for George Mason.
Patience by the Patriots. In the corner, back up. Price thought about the 3. Traffic flies by, pumps it up. No. Guess who? Count it.
Well, Craig, that's just smart experience. He knew the shot was going up. Right now, he's in their fighting position. He gets the inside position, and from there, between Morris and Holden, they couldn't stop him.
Three-point try, rims out. The foul was on Morris, his second. George Mason by 1. 1:05 left.
Now the rims get a little bit smaller now. You got to knock down a bucket. That rim can't get smaller.
Oh, it got big for Blake.
He must have been listening to me. In fact, he's been a sharpshooter most of the game. He's hit some big buckets, not afraid to take the shot.
Blake with 13. Maryland by 2, under a minute left. Evans to Larrañaga. Ball stripped, loose. And then Larrañaga reaches in and fouls Mouton.
You have to be aware of Maryland. They do a great job. As we look at Evans on the floor, injured a little bit.
Yeah, shaken up.
But Maryland does a great job of getting their hands on the basketball.
A terrific player in George Evans, being looked at with 27 points. That was the 5th foul on Larrañaga, so he's out.
Rob Anderson will be checking into the lineup.
If you look in the middle of the lane, you're going to see Evans going down to set a pick and runs into, I'm not sure who the Maryland player is, but he runs into a Maryland player and gets hit in the stomach a little bit with an elbow. Now, I don't know whether that means he got the wind knocked out of him or whether it was around the rib area, but you see right there, he runs right into the elbow, right into the rib cage. And that's how you crack ribs, and I've had that before, and it's very painful. He got a good sharp elbow right into the midsection below the rib cage, and he's a strong man, so you know he took a big hit to have him down still.
Evans averaging just under 19 points a game this season. Has rocked Maryland for 27. You know, he told us once, James, that what he's been through, and he's trying to downplay this too in his life as he's turned 30 back on January 31st. Yeah, he spent 7 years in the Army, Haiti, the Persian Gulf, Belgium. But he said, you know what? Basketball, nothing like it is out there when you're looking at war. Let's go to Bob Winslow. Bob?
Well, what we have here is a situation where he has to come out of the game because he stopped the game with this injury. The trainer came out, so he has to go to the bench and come out. It's crucial with 42 seconds left to go. Larrañaga could call timeout and get him back in, but he's not going to do that. He needs to get Evans back in the game as soon as possible if he's okay. I'll find out if he's okay in 1 moment.
And the thing is, a lot of cases, you know, when you have a situation like that, when a player has to go out of the game, you know, you would commit a quick foul and maybe get him back in. But both teams in the penalty, you cannot do that. 42 seconds left in the game. There's no guarantee when you're going to get him back in the ball game.
He's trying to regain his breath. Mouton at the free throw line to shoot a pair. Big make. Mouton with 21 points. And here comes George Evans. Didn't stay down long. Mouton, by the way, James, perfect from the free throw line, 8 of 8. 9 of 9. And they will not have Evans come in. The clock did not move. Price now calls a timeout.
Timeout.
They want Evans in.
George Mason.
Can't blame him for that.
We'll take a break. Maryland by 4 in Boise.
Hey, Bobby, how was the weekend?
Went to the in-laws. They had cable.
Basic.
Afraid so.
Man, I'm sorry. The kid's okay?
They're still young.
Well, listen, Bob. If you need to talk.
We love this stuff, even more than you do. Now get the best in home entertainment with a $200 mail-in rebate.
George Mason.
Maryland trying to find a way to stay alive. The 3rd seed in the West, leading the 14th seed George Mason Patriots 81-77 here in Boise. 40 seconds and change remaining. And George Evans, after being hit in the midsection, is back on the floor for the Patriots.
Yeah, they couldn't afford to have him sit out the last 42 seconds. A tough turnover by Larinaga. George Mason was right in the ball game. There's Harrington. He's done that all day. A strong body to the hole.
Oh, looked like maybe pulled a hip. He's going to have to take a knee. Boy, the grab the back of his back on the right side after the drive.
Well, you know, there's an area right there above the hip that really hurts if you're getting hit in that little bony area. And right there, it looks like he may have gotten a slight bump in the back as he grabs hold of that right high back area.
Juan Dixon picked up the foul, his 3rd. Herring now with 18 points, 6 of 13 from the floor.
Now,
from the free throw line.
If there's any pain now, this free throw could be big, but he knocks it down.
5 of 5 for Herring. 19. 81-80 Maryland. And their free throw shooting, whoever wins this game, if the Terrapins pull this out, they'll go back and look at 96% from the line, 22 of 23. Their season average 69.
And that's an incredible fact right there. And you need free throws at this stage of the tournament, in the NCAA tournament, because teams scout you. They know what you do, and a lot of times they have a tendency to take away some of your strengths. George Mason has taken away Baxter pretty much. They've taken Morris out of the game, but the free throws have kept Maryland afloat.
Big miss.
With the exception of that big miss by Morris. And now, Morris has not been involved in the game at all today. So it doesn't surprise me that he misses a free throw. His energy hadn't been there.
Missed them both. George Mason basketball. He was perfect 4 for 4 when he towed the line, and he missed both opportunities. And now a timeout. A timeout in Boise. 81-80 Maryland.
The internet helps you reach millions of customers around the globe. But who's keeping you in touch with the internet?
Fujitsu. The possibilities are infinite.
That was a final timeout for Maryland. George Mason still with 1 remaining. Possession arrow could play a factor, pointing down to the Terrapins.
Well, I think the strategy will be to look for the last shot. With 26 seconds left, Morris missed 2 free throws in a row. George Mason got the rebound. They have really played their game to the tee this afternoon. They've kept Maryland close. Maryland has not been able to run the basketball as much. And right now, this could be a huge upset in the making.
And James, you know Gary Williams is telling his players, George Evans, George Evans, George Evans. But don't forget, sometimes Eric Herring gets lost in this big picture and how much pressure they put on Evans. He draws a lot of double teams, and many times Herring will just jump out and get a good look. He's at 19 points in this game.
In the last 3 or 4 possessions, they have looked for Eric Herring on the left side of the wing. That's where he likes to get it. Evans will roll out, and Herring will ISO. So it'll be really interesting to see who they go to here now.
Price bounces to Herring.
One thing they have to watch out for, Maryland has created some turnovers. They get their hand in on most balls, so you have to take care of the basketball, and they are looking for Evans or.
Last touch by Evans. It's going to be Maryland basketball. With 6 seconds left.
Timeout, Patriots.
And a timeout. Patriots call timeout. 6 seconds to go.
Take me fishing. and show me how to drive the boat.
Take me fishing, so we'll always have something in common.
Take me fishing, because my wedding will be sooner than you think.
This pass will come right at you. And you know what, James? It never touched Evans, but still, out of bounds, George Mason went right between his legs.
Went right between his legs, and George Mason wanted to say that there may have been a slight deflection of the ball before it went through Evans' legs, but not so. And that is heartbreaking to have an opportunity to put the Terrapins away and not be able to get a shot off. I would expect them to put the ball in Eric Herron's hands and just let him ISO from a 1-4 format. Unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Terrence Morris will inbound to Dixon. And a quick foul, a whistle.
Foul number 44, Eric Herron. Fourth personal.
Now Morris, remember, last trip down, missed the free throws. This time it's going to be one Dixon. And Dixon has been perfect. 5 of 5, 20 points.
With the game on the line, 4.9 seconds, though. I've seen some big misses by some really good free throw shooters.
Dixon sinks the first for 21 points. Right now a 2-point game. George Mason still, though. Dixon can make this free throw. It'd be a 3-point game. Rims it around and in. 22. And pushing it up. 3 seconds left. Price at the buzzer, and Maryland advances on to round 2 to take on the former Maryland head coach, Lefty Driesell. .380. What a battle between the ACC and the Colonial Athletic Association, Maryland and George Mason.
And I got to tell you, Craig, what an opportunity slipped away from George Mason on a turnover. The last possession, you're going to see Price coming up, really doesn't get close enough to the arc. I thought maybe he could have taken one more dribble, but that calf is bothering him. He's still
James,
down.
You're right.
He's still down.
That is right. He is still down. And you look at the emotion. Oh, it wore out Gary Williams. A lot of emotion in this game in Boise.
Well, he knows he got away with one here this afternoon. George Mason had an opportunity to put his team away, but the turnovers, one by Larinaga early, and then the one by Evans.
So Maryland moves on to play Georgia State, and the head coach, the former Terp, Lefty Driesell. And our Chevrolet players of the game for George Mason. George Evans, 27 points, 10 of 15 from the floor. Brian Mouton, 22 points for Maryland. So the final again, Maryland 83-80 over George Mason. Let's go back to New York City, and here's Greg Gumbel.
All right, Craig, thanks very much. So Maryland moves on with a 3-point victory over George Mason. I wish you could have seen Mr. Kellogg here in the studio screaming to pressure the dribbler on the inbound.
Really? I mean, you've got an opportunity to not allow a guy to get into a rhythm on the shot with 4.5 seconds to go, and they were backing off, obviously afraid to foul. But Maryland fought a game George Mason team. Give them a lot of credit, and Maryland found a way. Great free throw shooting was the difference.
There is another game underway right now in San Diego in the West region. UNC Greensboro and Stanford are just underway in the first half, and in the Cardinal with a 2-point lead on UNC Greensboro. Also today in the East region, Hofstra's 18-game winning streak snapped by UCLA. 61-48 was the final score. UCLA outscored Hofstra 24-5 over the last 12.5 minutes. A final in the East in Uniondale, the Iowa Hawkeyes 69-56 winners over the Creighton Blue Jays. Iowa, the only victory by a Big Ten team today. The West region game in San Diego today. St. Joe's over Georgia Tech 66-62. The winner that game, St. Joe's plays the winner of Stanford and UNC Greensboro. tomorrow. West Regional action in Boise. Georgia State by 1 over the Badgers of Wisconsin. Lefty Drizel's team moves on to meet Maryland. In East Regional play in Greensboro, Utah State over the Ohio State Buckeyes 77-68 in overtime. And in the East Region in Uniondale, Holy Cross falls to the Kentucky Wildcats. The Wildcats win it by a score of 72-68. We will see you again. Prime time coming up 7:30 Eastern time this evening. Until then, have yourselves a good evening. We'll see you later.